Good evening, people. All right, I'm feeling a bit hankered at this hour. Not been doing a good job with managing my sleep as of late. So let's not get too hung up on trying to squeeze out a video again, and let's save that for like a day or two. React Night? Yep, React Night. Been a little while since I've done one of these. More specifically, can't remember the last time I went out of my way to actually set this kind of stuff up. At most, I would have just done it on a whim. What's on the docket? Analytical vibes. Analytical vibes. Maybe I want to double check that video that Tuhu put out for the Porsche skin. If anyone has anything they had in mind, then sure, I'm open to that. We'll get that started in maybe like 45 minutes. Go around 45 minutes. Anything you recommend is pure torture? Well, you don't watch that much gacha stuff on your off time. I can infer that if you're not playing that many gacha games while off stream, I'm going to assume that that's the same case for what you actually watch. Hello Z, it is in Japanese. Why would it be in English? Hey, you repeat that? Well, you said before in the past that you don't usually play gachas off stream. You usually play, you know, Arma or like modded Stalker or stuff like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, you normally don't play gachas off stream, so I'm going to assume you also don't watch gacha content off stream. Hello, DPD. So the rumors are going around that the characters that are rerunning are Dylan, Arya, Yuzuha, and one more. Evelyn. I think Evelyn might be the odd one out here. But if any of that is true, we're looking at triple banner. We're looking at triple banner phases, lads. And I'm gonna be honest, I am leaning towards getting Yuzuha copies more than getting Remiel. But we'll have to wait and see on how that goes. Have I seen the Snezhnaya teaser? Yeah. So the Snezhnaya teaser came out, but when it uploaded, I was preoccupied raging and getting mad trying to do a no-hit Billy run on Annihilation Simulacrum on Eek's account. It took me like 40 minutes to do, and then I finally did it, and then just to take the edge off, I just watched the Snezhnaya teaser. Despite the fact that I don't keep up with Genshin at all, I just felt it to be interesting to watch. Don't really care about any of the characters that were shown off. I think like a specific gacha's aesthetic after a certain point just kind of bleeds into each other. So none of the Snezhnaya characters really stood out to me, except for maybe the red-haired dude with the pointy ears and the homunculus markings on his neck. Is this just Ball X Pit? I'm going to assume this is just Ball X Pit. Yeah, this is just bollocks pit. I've said for the longest time that this game needed to come out with more arcade modes, because I feel like the arcade mode is underappreciated in Zenless, and they barely came out with fuck all for it. Like, they came out with 2 extra modes and they just stopped. Like, they would even have events where it was just play arcade, and then you'll get tokens, and then you could spend it at the reward shop, and that was about it. I thought that was just fine. I don't know why they stopped doing it. Now, this I don't believe this is a permanent event. I'll need to double check if it actually goes to Redo Chronicles. I'll need to double check the rules on that. But I would like if something like this is permanent. Just keep adding more arcade shit. I can't parry when I'm selecting shit right now. Bollocks Pit is really good. I should have I feel like I would have had a lot more fun playing Bollocks Pit than I would have had playing Mega Bonk, because Mega Bonk pissed me the hell off. It was RNG. It was so much RNG bullshit in Bollocks Pit. If you recommend anything, you already know who you're going to. I mean, hey. Oh shit. This one. Yeah, sure, why not? I hope y'all mouse and keyboard enjoyers are faring okay with this event. I've got the comfort of a joystick on me right now, so I don't have to worry about any of those inelegancies. Okay, let me out. But he just spawned with the laser on. Okay. You like the auto chess mode? The auto chess mode's okay. I liked the PvP version of it, if I'm being entirely honest. It just felt more satisfying. You had so much laughter watching and playing Mega Bonk. I enjoyed Mega Bonk for like the first few hours, but then like just trying to get like a single clear felt awful. So much RNG bullshit. And that wasn't even before talking about like the desert level. Let me choose something. I want to look at something. Whatever. Cool. I want to split. All right. I want to see so many circles on screen. Just more projectiles. Just throw more projectiles out there. See, this is a hell of a lot. This is a hell of a lot better than that that Vampire Survivor shit that they came out with as like their fourth minigame, where you had to like headbutt your allies into people, and there was like some really shitty hitboxes. This is just much better. I'll take this any day of the week. over that shit. Also, I'm using Volina while doing this. I'm not using, like, some weird, like, random unknown NPC, like, sprite characters that they just came up with. Have I tried Mecha Chameleon? I have no idea what that is. No, I have not. Oh, nope, yep. Okay, now I remember. Yeah, Mecha Chameleon is like that prop hunt game where you paint yourself, you get on like a surface and you paint yourself. I've seen so much of that on Twitter. I've seen a crazy amount of that on Twitter. Yeah, I've seen that. I don't really have anybody to play that with. So I usually just look at the tweets. Also, I have a feeling that Mecha Chameleon may or may not be grossly misrepresented on social media, because I can only imagine how long it takes to actually like paint those kind of disguises. So either the game has like a massive period of time where the seeker is just AFK before he actually gets to play the game, or there's like some intentional setup that goes into like those Twitter clips that I see on occasion. So I'm not exactly sure. The only game I've been keeping up with is obviously Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, because I am going to be playing that during my vacation. I've literally set aside vacation time for when that comes out. And the other thing I've been keeping tabs on recently, just because I remembered it's a thing, is Payday. And apparently Payday is getting the second Payday game is getting a Diesel 3.0 engine upgrade in a beta test. I guess that game will just never die. And the third game is still just kind of chugging along as per usual. Nothing of really note going on. Just trying to pick up the teeth. Still trying to pick its teeth up off the floor for like 2 years now. Charlie played it. Everyone who's big probably played Mecha Chameleon. Saying Charlie played it is like saying guy drinks water. Like, okay. All right. I don't even really need to use my skill. I'm doing just fine with the balls. Why does it spawn the projectile? Why does it spawn the projectiles like a foot in front of them? It doesn't like spawn them at their body. But like if I get too close, then it just kind of spawns right on top of me. Kinda not thought out. Oh. Oh, speaking of games, if y'all know a game called Omega Strikers, think Rocket League with like MOBA teams and hero-based like skills and abilities. I think that's free. That's free to own on Steam right now. I think for like another week or two, week and a half. So if you have Steam, you probably just go and type in like Omega Strikers and snag that. You don't even have to install it. Just snag it. Will I ever play it? I don't know. I should, but I'm not gonna probably. I've already got plenty I can do on my off time. Oh, I see. It saves a build so that I can then challenge a boss. I mean, I literally just fought this boss. Oh! And there's no timer, so this is mostly just going to be whether or not I can actually live. Bit much. Okay. So wait, why wouldn't I want to start on the left side every time if he's going to fire the laser in the same order? Oh, that's why. Who doesn't have Steam in this day and age? Console players. Look, you need to understand that with each generation, there's going to be plenty of people who start out on consoles and probably stay that way for a while. So this morning, Voxel had came back, and he was having one of his old morning chats with a bunch of people in his Discord server. I got a chance to touch base with him like for a little bit. I came pretty late in though, so like they were already pretty deep into some conversations. Hello, Taito. Okay, I'm curious. Does this actually stay? Not saying if this is permanent or not. If this actually isn't permanent, or there's not like moved to permanent, that would suck. People need to understand a lot of people don't enjoy gaming on the PC. That's why the console market still exists. People also just don't want to have to like fiddle around with like building a PC. And there's other technical issues surrounding PCs that go beyond just like the building process. That will just happen with time. Like, at least with a console, like the technical difficulties of a console is a lot more straightforward. PC, not so much. Did you see the post about Rune's latest video earlier today? You mean on Twitter? Yeah, his video was getting a lot of traction. I haven't watched the video myself. Split. Well, we need Pierce, so get more Pierce out there. A split. Surely the split will just bounce around a bit. Get more Pierce. A basic gaming PC is really easy to make, bro. Of course, with the RAM price today, it's understandable. Okay, well, It's easy for you to say. It's easy to make because you've done it before and you have that level of comfort to do so. You know where to go to do your research to find that stuff. You have a good idea of like making good value judgments, and you also just know how to put it together, and you're not worried about making like a massive fuck up to the point where you just straight up shy away completely from doing it. Okay? Most people don't sign up for that. Most people are just not willing to sign up for that kind of thing when all they want to do is just play a video game. So that's where the console comes in, or pre-builts, which is kind of like a middle ground. This is why y'all are called the PC Master Race, as both like a arrogant thing and a derogatory thing. Because there is a level of arrogance to that. There absolutely is. Imagine saying that kind of thing to somebody whose car's broken down. Like, imagine you're someone who knows the ins and outs of a car. Are you gonna say the same thing to everybody who has car problems? Oh, it's so easy. It's so easy to fix your car. Just look inside. It's that easy, dude. Probably not. Yeah, everybody uses the... Yeah, using the internet does not make you tech savvy. Using the internet is just a baseline nowadays for people to function in society. Like, you can't... Like, most businesses don't let you do a, like, pen and paper job application. You gotta, like, either email that to them in, like, the online job process or just print that stuff out or just print that stuff out. You can't just do an application. Or just you can't give people your resume. You have to just throw your job application into just the digital land where your identity is just kind of boiled down to a bunch of O's and zeros and ones. And you know, like, every business nowadays is trying to get you to download some damn app. So I don't consider anybody who just uses the internet or uses technology as having some sort of skill. I think honestly, if you don't use the internet at all and you still function pretty well in society, I think that's honestly more of a flex than just having a basic understanding of the internet. So I guess, like, farmers, Amish people, and, I don't know. What place doesn't have internet right now? I guess maybe being in a third world country is not exactly a flex. So I'll have to reel that statement in a bit there. Just got a line, so I guess I'm just gonna keep shooting it. Hello, Makes 100. It's been a while. Still not getting that dumb Porsche. You're at 15 out of 15 pulls. That is unfortunate. I just got my Porsche a few days ago. Granted, I used premium currency on the 14th and 15th pull. So, if you're trying not to use currency, then yeah. You're not in a good position. to shame my weapons a straight line. And he keeps firing from the front. Okay, he's dead. I just realized, I feel like some of these models were, that Miyabi model was ripped straight from the old arcade game. I don't know exactly why it just puts me in a boss fight with the exact same boss. Seems like the mechanics aren't different either. It's just projectiles and beam. Except I guess it spawns like a lot of these things. Oh, I can use this shield to go through the beam. Okay, that works. Ow. Okay, we can tank a little bit. Okay, we got him. Any news for Silver Palace? I thought I saw like a little bit of ad for it, but I'm not paying attention to Silver Palace. It'll just come out, and then I may or may not play it. There was like a new animated trailer for it. I don't know. Every time I look at like Silver Palace's like aesthetic and graphics and art style, it looks a bit uncanny to me. It's got like that Unreal Engine sheen to it, but in anime form. I don't really know what to make of it. Okay. Oh, that's it for day one, I guess. Or is it like day 2 or something? Hello, Eminem. Deliver the Draco Bike its neck patch for Neverness Avernus? Yeah. Is that going to be part of like a gacha event, or is it just you can just buy it? I don't recall. I didn't look at that section of the NTE live stream. Hello, Unruly Shifu. You can only play ZZZ and NTE. No more than that. LOL. I mean, yeah. I would always recommend somebody, if somebody has to play more than one gacha game, play one big one and then play a small one as like a palate cleanser. So I play Zenless, I play NTE, and I play Stellasora. But with Stellasora, I play it on my phone as well. So that gives me something to do during like a lunch break or if I'm just about to go to bed. You think it's going to be the same as the Porsche? Oh boy. Well, I might spend money. I might spend money during 1.2 because I am very much interested in that Shinko skin where it's the schoolgirl outfit. I think it looks good on her. And my pulls in NTE look really bad right now. I have only like maybe 20 pulls to my name. So I can't even think about getting Shinko to begin with. And I might want Aurori. I know I said I'm not a fan of Aurori's design, but I think one of the skins that Aurori's getting, I think it's the sleepwear. I think it's made me change my mind on Aurori. Because I think the skins look pretty good. Guys, can I see the why is nothing ever updated? I can't just type in skin, right? Can I? I don't think I can. The live stream was just today, so I don't think I'll be able to. What if I go to like NTE Reddit r/NTE? What if I type in Eroi? This one? This nightgown looking outfit? I think she looks a lot better in this outfit. And this is probably a Bond outfit. If main event in 1.2 is co-op. You want to do it? I'm pretty sure the event is single player. If the event is co-op EG, then I'm down for doing it, but I'm pretty sure it's single player. Hello, Vortex. What are we talking about? We're talking about Neverness to Everness skins. Shinko. Go to Shinko for a second. So this outfit right here at 200 pulls for Shinko, I like the look of it. In my opinion, Shinko's skin selections on offer are some of the best skins that NTE has right now. I think the worst is probably Lacrimosa. I think Lacrimosa's outfits are too samey. A lot of them are way too samey, and there's not a lot of difference between them. Her and Chaos are both like equally bad in that regard, despite the fact that Lacrimosa has more skins to choose from. It still kind of feels like the same like short skirt and then like heavy coat combo, unless we're talking about the Bond outfit. I think Nanali's skin options are pretty good, and I think Hattori's are okay, but Shinko just kind of mogs everybody. The call was funny as shit. Oh yeah. I think analytical video about the skins in WoW is foolish in this modern era gaming. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that soon. We will get to that soon. If only you knew how Japan played D&D in the 80s. I mean, I don't see how that's of use to me. You play ZZZ, NTE, Fortnite, and Marvel Rivals? Man. Two Western live service games and then 2 Eastern gacha games. Oh, wait, buddy. Okay, let's do a little bit of NTE before we go into the reacts. Just a little bit of NTE. All right. Someone's adding me. Why did I turn... Wait, what did I just turn on? Oh. Did I... Hold on. I think I closed the wrong... Okay, no. Close Zenless. Open NTE. Marvel Rivals made by Netties, bro. What about it? Are we just spitting random facts out? If you're talking about the fact that I said that Marvel Rivals is a Western live service game, sure, yeah. If you want to get into like a semantics argument with that, okay, no, yeah, it's an Eastern made like live service game. Guess which demographic, okay, is more appealing to it? Okay, probably the West. The West, who has a hate boner, who has grown to have a sizable amount of hate boners for Overwatch. Okay. I don't care to die on this hill, all right? Not interested. Even anything I can do. I will say it is nice to not have to worry about the Porsche anymore, because now I can actually like build fawns and do shit with my fawns. Bruh, I need to get this parasocial shit. I need to get this parasocial shit done and over with, so I can maybe get more bond rank with my lackey. My lackey Mosa. Where is she? Where's Lackey? There she is. Also, I want to get Chiz's Bond outfit as well. So I need to do that too. Where is she? Where is she? The people leading your squad. Oh boy. Doesn't matter because Marvel characters are Western IP. Yeah, I mean, like we can really get we can really get bogged down in the details, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I didn't swap them. So I believe when Shinko comes out, the best team for Shinko is going to be her, Athor, Esper Zero, and I believe one more character that I'm blanking on. I don't know who. Trying to recall right now. What'd I say? Hold on. Shinko, Iori, Esper Zero. Fuck, I can't remember the last one. Shit. Also a free S rank in NTE. I know about that one. I know about the third S rank. My goal right now, I am hoping I can pull another S rank character from this. So then I'll have half of the S rank characters. Because I have 2 Hathors. Like, fuck me. So I hope I get somebody else. And then I will use all of my 3 selectors and just get the rest of them. Just that easy. Let me in. That S ranks for new players. I thought I saw that. No, I didn't see anybody say anything about it being for free players, for new players. That'd be pretty stupid. It was for new players only. Because like new players already have a selector. Also, here's the way I see it. Okay. Here is the way I see it with the selector situation, okay? So, since there's a guarantee system on limited banners, there is no way for you to actually get a standard S rank character on limited banners. If you pull Chaos, you're going to get Chaos. If you pull Lacrimosa, you're going to get Lacrimosa. If you pull Iori, you're going to get Iori. If you pull Shinko, you're going to get Shinko. So there's no way for you to get these characters. So, at this point, the way I see it is that the standard characters are basically going to be loss leaders for NTE. So, I'd say every 2 to 3 patches, Hoda Studio is going to let everybody know we're going to give out another character selector, so it keeps people on the hook to keep playing NTE. That is the way I see it, is that they're just going to start handing out S-rank characters periodically to keep people on NTE. Oh, is this your room? Oh. Wait, she's not speaking? I thought she would say something. This is supposed to be a parasocial hangout. How am I supposed to bond with the character if she's not talking? She's moving very weirdly. She's got so many tomato plushies. And I was hoping this shit would be voiced. Is there at least going to be a nice scene? Or are the unique scenes only like related to those hangout blips on the map? I think it might be based on those blips on the map. It did say create in 1.1 to 1.2 and unlock them. Yes. So it basically means just start playing the game before the patch starts to get it. That's the way I interpreted it. All right. Did I get anything out of that? Did I get any bond out of that? Anything? I guess not. I guess it was just 10 currency. So I guess I have to find her on one of these blips to actually like get like a special hangout. That is unfortunate. All right. Ugh. I need to go to jail so I can actually like interact with this shit right here. Yo, I can get 2 standard pulls if I win another match. Yo, okay, hold on. Hold on. This is huge. This is huge. You'll do dating when you can date the witch girl. I don't think the witch girl is going to be playable. I think you should probably come to terms with that right now. She's not going to be playable. All right, let's play this dog shit. All right, what's up, buddy? All right, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? All right, he's running. Okay. All right, have fun, guys. I mean, I'll just be right here. What is this? This is a really bad PvP mode. I can tell you that for a fact. But, okay, you guys want to keep fighting? Okay. Okay. Oh, fuck, fuck. Get this off me. Okay, well, mine just blew up. Yeah, no. I'm good. Yeah, you go ahead and blow up. Wait, what happened to the other guy? Did they just blew each other up? Okay, whatever. I guess they had no health left, so when the acorns just blew up, they just died. Also, that bell was loud as fuck. Where's the auto balancing? All right. Oh, I gotta do it for each one? Okay, whatever. The clown show's done? No, it's only started. We gotta win 2 more matches, baby. We gotta get paired with 3 more idiots. What's up, buddy? What's up? Okay, he's not fighting me anymore. Yo, what's up? Hey, well, what's up? Okay, this guy doesn't know that you have to do the cancel. Oh, hello, hello, hello. Yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? Okay, someone's getting parried in the background. No, 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 no. Get this off me. Get this off me. I want this off me. There you go, bitch. All right, here, have fun with that. All right. Got one. Got one. Oh. Oh, what's going? Oh, let me out. Let me out. Yeah, this is a mode. Oh, fuck. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. You're donezo, buddy. One more. One more. I need that standard dice. Did I just grab the air and slam? Yeah, I did. Super effective, baby. 5 more. We need 5 more. We got one more. One other one. Oh. All right. All right. Who are you? Who are you? Oh, he's got a special name. What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? What you doing? What you doing? They're fighting. What are you doing? Hello? I think he's lagging out. Okay, well, I guess this guy's lagging out, so they'll have fun over there while I just beat this guy up. Oh, fuck. Dude, the camera's getting kind of fucky. Shit. Thought my combo chain was over. Let me go. Let me transfer it. Okay. Oh. You're gonna blow up. You're gonna blow up and you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna blow up. All right. Hey, what's up, buddy? I think I get health back if I knock you out. Oh, I just got soaked. Here, let's just do that. Oh, he's not dead. Oh, she got more health. Okay, she might have a special ready, so it might be over for me. Okay, hold on. Is there a bar so nearby? No, there's not. Okay. Oi, oi, what's up? Dude, I don't know how they're getting staggered, but I'm not. Oh, fuck. No! No! God damn it. Or... Man. Now I have to play one more. What a load of shit. I should have saved that ultimate. What I should have done. Alright, come on. One more. Yes, sir. Hello? 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 Bruh. Okay, now I'm getting staggered. Okay, now I'm kind of fighting somebody who knows what they're doing. What's going on over here? Oh, this guy's getting fucking... No, stop him. Stop him. Stop, dude. Stop him. No, stop him. You're... Okay, you're just gonna let this guy win. Okay. Yeah, take out... What are you doing? You're a Sir, you're a retard. You're a retard. You're a retard. Fight him. Fight him, you piece of shit. Actually go fight each other. Okay, she just wants my tits, man. Bruh. Bruh. Yeah, have fun over there. Bruh. Fight the white guy. Bruh, y'all want second place that badly? Y'all want second place that badly? He's just watching! Stupid bitch. Okay. Okay, now I'm getting stagger loops. Okay, just all right, just fucking kill me already. Like I don't even need I just need one more painkiller and I'm out of stamina anyway. Like just Jesus. Yeah, this mode is actually like the biggest piece of dog shit ever. Like I cannot think of a worse event that I've had to experience when playing a gacha game. This is actually just takes the cake for the worst. Like it's not even really fun to win in this mode. You just make the other person have a miserable time. I'm just gonna say that right now. So anybody saying, oh, you're just getting mad because you lose. No, I would be still be saying this mode is shit even if I was winning. It's just terrible. But I got the pull, so that's all that matters. Never lucky. Cool concept. I'm not gonna give a fucking gacha company a gold star or a pat on the back just because they made a cool concept. Plays like shit. It is shit. All right. Get this off. Let's get this off the tracker. I need to use... That's not a gold star, LOL. Yeah, it is. It's not. Look, I'm not gonna give them even an inch on that one, okay? Whoever conceptualized that needs to be put in a timeout. Just saying the setting of it is cool. You can do that. There's a PvE version of that, but it's just not part of the event. A bit of a difference. There's a bit of a difference. All right. All right. We are just going to just sit right here, and that is going to be shift into the reacts. I'm a bit behind by what I said. All right. Analytical vibes. Let's pull this up. Gonna let it sit for a moment. Okay. I'm gonna use the bathroom. And then we're gonna take a look at this. Okay, the like to dislike is already not in a good spot, so that'll be interesting. Why is it playing? I had it paused. There we go. All right. Be right back. Alrighty, let's go ahead and just see what this video is all about. So, Analytical Vibes is a primarily Wuthering Waves content creator, but he does kind of like, well, go into like analytical discussions about this kind of stuff. But he does a little bit of Enfield, and I think he did do a little bit of NTE, but who wasn't doing a little bit of NTE? So he came out with a video maybe a few days ago talking about his opinions of how Wuthering Waves is getting more predatory, and that video has since been privated. I did not get a chance to watch it myself, which is unfortunate. But if anyone was interested in actually like seeing the video, there is somebody who did react to it by the name of Kala the Yapper. Now, granted, Kala the Yapper is, well, he yaps a fuck ton, so you can expect any video that he watches to be bloated to like over an hour. And the production quality is also subpar, to say the least. But it is there. So if you're willing to like sift through Kala's react of it, you will get the video is still there. And it looks like it's also getting some good viewership specifically because the video's privated. So like Kala's like one of the few people who actually has it preserved. So this is the follow-up to that, and if I recall correctly from like the very first few seconds of Kala's video, the like to dislike ratio on Analytical Vibes' original video was like split down the middle. So and because of like how the dislike extension usually underreports the dislikes from my experience, this is probably so the ratio was probably worse in his favor. And this one's probably not looking too good either. And this one's only been out for 3 hours, and it's already very, very not good. So let's go ahead and see what he has to say for himself. I'm going to just make sure this isn't too loud.
I made a video the other day talking about the growing levels of greed in Wuthering Waves, and the Wuthering Waves community did not like it. They really hated it. In fact, usually when I say a community didn't like a video I made, I'm playing it up for drama. This time, that's not true. It had a dislike ratio of 46%, an unheard of ratio on my channel.
What is the lowest ratio I've ever had on my channel? I think it was like maybe 20. I'm pretty sure the lowest ratio I've ever had was 20. Oh, right, I forgot. YouTube changed how the studio app works, so I can't check my like to dislike off the rip. I have to go in and individually look at each fucking video. Never mind. I think like in recent memory, my lowest like to dislike ratio is probably the video on the game Wuthering Waves winning the game awards. And that was a pretty low one too. That was like close like in the 40 percentile. So seems to be so I think I might got Analytical Vibes beat on this one.
They really disliked it. The video had a whopping 700 comments. The title was Brutally Honest Thoughts on Wuthering Waves' Growing Levels of Greed, and here was the thumbnail. I can't keep defending this with a whole bunch of bike skins and all of the accessories circled. I have since privated the video, and you might assume this is because I was wrong, or I'm admitting some sort of guilt, or that anything I said in the video was factually incorrect. This is not true. There is a reason I privated the video, and it has nothing to do with anything that I said in the video, because everything I said was 100% factually correct. Genshin players are also angry with me for the many Genshin criticisms I made in the video by comparison, and they made their comments known. Kala the Yapper reacted to the video, and he's a Hoyo creator, and...
Oh, well, right there, yep. Showing Kala. Alright, well, that's it. That solves it. Biggest hypocrite in the gacha space. Oh, okay. I might need to check that. Cole Septa Izaya. I think I've seen that guy before. I think I've seen this Cole Septa Izaya before. I think, didn't he make like a shitpost video with like Gotcha Smack versus Saint Tontas?
His video was fine enough. He has his opinion, I have mine. But his comment section was a cesspool of delusional Genshin players personally attacking me, calling me a disgrace.
I've seen Peepo. Peepo is in my comment section quite often. I usually see Peepo and then like somebody with a Yuzaha profile picture coincidentally together when I put check comments for certain drama videos. At 106, okay, so this is Kala's video. Should we pull up Kala's video for a second? Because I kind of want to double check this. Let's pull up Kala's video for a second. And I just want to see for myself what this specific comment is. Pardon me for a moment, guys. Okay. So it says 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 8 seconds in. Okay, let's see what this is. Let's pull about just 5 seconds. And let's unmute the tab.
Great swords, and they both have a yellow line slashing across the screen when they swing their sword, does not mean they have the same combat animation. And I'm going to assume that Analytical Vibe is not going to show both characters' gameplay side by side, but instead he's just going to describe it.
Genshin Impact. We're getting mauled by Genshin's worst characters of all time, and we're putting in immense effort. In fact, think about this. One of the only times Wuthering Waves has surpassed Genshin in revenue was in 3.1 with Imeth, an absolute landmark monumental unit. They were able to get, the sensor data is unreliable. They were able to get around 30 million plus in that month. Maybe they made more, but that's like the lower end. And
Okay, what is the context for this comment? Suddenly realized just how stupidly he confirmed that he's as purposeful, exaggerating points that still tries to be charitable for Kuro. If he really thinks that Varka is being the worst character in the game, then please, by all means, keep believing that delusional LOL skull, when realistically, Varka definitively is as different of a character to the rest of the cast, and for such a Doom-posted character, he's now one of the best DPSs that can perform as close to Luna teams. Yeah, when Varka was, got revealed and, the leaks where his animations were coming out, people were mocking the hell out of Varka for having animations that were very similar to, Eula and stuff, which, yeah, the game's been out for, 6 years. There's gonna inevitably be some overlap in animations that just kind of happen. So you just have to make the most of it. And you just have to be interested in Varka more so as a character, especially with his influence and impact on the Mondstadt and the greater influence of Genshin as a world. Why is my chat not working? My chat is working. And you could even make the argument that oh, well, it's they're Favonius Knights, so there's going to be some overlap in how they train and how they fight with their weapons, but I don't know if I want to make that argument. And I want to prove it wrong otherwise, instead of just blindly talking out of his eyes. Brother, face it, the Varka hate was over-exaggerated. It was over-exaggerated. Was there aspects of Varka that were potentially underwhelming? I can see that. But at the end of the day, Varka is a character that people have been waiting for ages. So I think people are going to lean more into other aspects of Varka that aren't just his animations. And, he still wielded 2 claymores. So even if there's not, the animations aren't as flashy as people thought, it's still 2 claymores, which is just cool. People will just fill in the blanks themselves and just fantasize the idea of Varka going crazy with 2 big claymores, whether or not the animations look like a version 7 character or a version 4 character or something like that. And I can't take Analytical Vibe seriously even before, since he cannot just focus the criticism to I can't read this marker to left alone. He's actually a proxy agent and a propagandist in needing to put Wuba at the priority, despite being aware of their latest greed. Case in point in how much he's emotionally invested in the hyper-focusing revenue stuff or small nitpicks from other games to still pink Kuro. He is as better, absolutely disgraceful. I've never considered Analytical Vibes to be a Wuba extremist. At most, I've watched quite a few of Analytical Vibes videos. I've always taken him as a moderate or a minor, close to moderate or a moderate, but I've never considered him an extremist Wuwa player, so I've never really cared much about that. Hello, Soul. Varka was also missing his best team. What was that, Nicole? Even ZZZ, Yanagi, and Sissia have the same-ish stabbing motion line kit. Well, I think the thing with Yanagi and Sissia is the attack where they go up into the sky and then they strike downward. But Yanagi doesn't have a monopoly on that move. If they want to make another character that does a strike down, go right ahead. I think there are other aspects of Sissia as from a gameplay standpoint that disappoint me that go beyond just some animations.
Here's what it was about. Quick TLDR in 1 second. Basically, I talk about how Kuro's greed has been increasing over the years instead of decreasing. Usually, gacha games are really generous in the beginning, and then they get more generous over time. And yet, it seems as though Kuro has just been adding more.
Sorry, hold on. I need to pull that back for a second. I accidentally I can close the
in the beginning,
video.
and then they get more generous over time. And
Okay, do you guys actually believe the gacha games get more generous over time, or do you think they get more predatory? Because I think they get more predatory and more generous at the same time. I think it's not mutually exclusive. I think they get more generous and they get more predatory. Can people see that? Like they give people more free stuff to keep people playing the game, but at the same time, they also offer more stuff for you to pull for and spend money on to get more money. I think it's a mix. That is the way. So what? Hold on. Let me pull this up for a second. Let me get my notepad. I get my notepad. Okay, actually, you know what? Should we get Paint? Guys, I think we should get MS Paint. Should we get Paint? I think we should get Paint. Let's pull out MS Paint for a second. Okay? I'm kind of new to doing the whole shtick of MS Paint for a second, okay? All right. Let's do the old MS Paint for a second, okay? So, let's see if I can make sense of this. So, let's say let's do that, and then let's do that, and then we're going to do text, and we're going to do, okay. We're going to put greed at the bottom. Nope. Okay. And then we're going to do generosity. We're going to put that right here. We're actually going to make this smaller. Right there. Fuck. Get off it. Generosity. Okay. Now flip it. Okay. Grab it. Okay. So let me see if I can I can paint a picture here. So let's say right here why is that so small? It's too big. Okay, let's say right here this is 1.0. Wait, I just realized this kind of chart doesn't work. Wait, fuck. No, hold on. I did it wrong. I did it wrong. God damn it. Wait, what kind of chart do I need? What kind of chart do I need for this? Should I use like a, you know, I think I need yeah, no. This one will work good. No, wait, no, it doesn't. Fuck. What about a bell curve? Should we do a bell curve? No, that doesn't work. What kind of chart do you fucking use? What kind of like fucking chart would I use to like for both things to exist at the same time? Bar chart? You know what? Yeah, we just need to do a bar chart. We just got to do a bar chart. Okay. Yeah, no, thank you. We are going to do a bar chart. And we're going to do, okay, so we're going to do red for, okay, so we're going to give our reference points right here. Okay. Generosity is going to go down here. And then the red one is going to be greed, and that's going to go right there. And then we're going to put what does a bar graph look like? I need to see like what the okay. This left side doesn't matter. Left side. Game version will be down here. Zoom this out for a second. Okay. Now let's do it. So okay, so we're gonna do 1.0, 2.0. All right, you know what? Hold on. Hold on. We'll do X.0 so people understand. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is the best way to work it. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do it like this. So we're just going to do, can we just do like a thick marker? Or should we just do a box? I think we should do a box. Hold on. Okay. Get background fill on. Or do red. Okay, so read is going to be here, kind of like that. And then, oh, Okay, there we go. Gonna go to green second. And greed, so generosity is gonna look like that for there. Then we're going to go to version 2, and greed is going to get bigger. And generosity is still going to be about still dominant. If I could do it, I can't do it. I'm so fucking terrible at this. Okay. Green is going to go a bit down. Then we're going to get into version 3. And I'm going to say generosity goes down more. And then greed. Fuck me. Greed then sees like its all-time high in version 3. Then I'm going to say in version 4, greed goes back down. Shit. Gonna go back down, but they're going to be kind of close. They're going to be kind of close. Then in 5, generosity is going to go back up. And then greed is going to stay right here, and it's basically going to be like that for the rest of the game, barring like extreme cases. And then we'll just do like a drawing at and like 5. Okay. Are we in agreement about this? It's generous at the start. You start to see the cracks in the foundation at version 2. We see problems in version 3. It starts to become less of a problem in version 4. And then 5 and onward, like the greed is present, but generosity usually maintains itself. Unless you're Genshin Impact and your pull count's atrocious. But then again, I guess Genshin's pull count was kind of atrocious for the longest time. Okay, let me see if chat even agrees with me on this. Depends on the game. You think ZZZ is very generous for understandable reasons. I'm trying to like meet the gacha games in the middle, because if I were to use an example of, if I were to say what best represents this chart, I would say Honkai Star Rail best represents this chart, where version 3 definitely was where things got really bad, but then like version 4 with Planicardia, power creep, based on like from what I've heard from people who play Honkai Star Rail on a regular basis, power creep is less of an issue right now, and there's more viable metas, and things have just kind of calmed down, and then just things are going along. And hopefully, I'm hoping Zenless is going to have that situation as well, where after version 3, power creep they'll start creating more content that is more centered around, that's less centered around rewards and like casual players, and more centered around just hardcore players and clout. Because I don't know if you guys heard. I don't know if you guys heard, but Genshin's the opposite. Well, Genshin's an outlier. So I mean, we can't let Genshin rule everything. I don't know if you guys heard, but there are leaks in Zenless right now that there is going to be a hard mode version of Deadly Assault. And I have a feeling that's how they're going to handle the power creep situation with Zenless, is that they're just going to start introducing hard mode versions of existing game modes, and they're just going to like shove all the power creep over there. But it's going to be just it's just going to be like whale bait bragging rights and shit. And the regular versions of the game modes will calm down. So it's like, if you want people to spend money, they can spend it and do that thing over there. But like most people who just want the rewards of Deadly Assault and like want the full clears and stuff like that, they have their nesting ground. You don't have to worry about that. AA and ZZZ, oh, is that what it's called? Anomaly arbitration in Honkai Star Rail. I saw my brother try to clear anomaly arbitration. I think it was like one of the live streams. It was a live stream where I went out to go to get Taco Bell, and I just left Freckles to just play HSR. And despite the fact that he had a C6 Castris, he only got like 2 stars on anomaly arbitration, which was wild. The good thing about Genshin is 1.0 4-star characters is still meta to this day. Well, Genshin also buffed the 4-star characters. And I think they even started buffing a few more characters recently. That helps. Okay, we've spent too long. Let me go ahead and just save this, because probably should spam something in there. All right. But anyway, the point was is I don't agree that I don't agree this idea that gotcha games get generous as time goes on, unless it's a smaller gotcha game. I will say if it's a smaller gotcha game, I could probably see the concept of it getting more generous because obviously they have to do more to get people to keep to stick with the game. But for like these big gotcha games, I think it's a mix.
Yet it seems as though Kuro has just been adding more and more ways for you to give them money. And those ways include regular skins, they include bike skins, they include accessories, they include wing skins. And I talk about how at the end of the day, these are minor levels of greed, but they were building up until Kuro got more and more confident as they created other skins that you can't even pay for, skins that you have to wish in order to get, and then the super prize, which is the $250 hat in the spending event. And I talk about how these strategies of getting you to purchase skins are the strategies of third-rate, low-tier gacha games because they're not confident in their character sales in order to make money. Why would you sell a skin when you could just make another character and make millions of dollars? That's because Wuthering Waves characters don't make as much money as they want. The second part of the video.
Okay, so let's like try to summarize. So he's basically saying that cosmetics that are locked behind like pull milestones is proof of a lack of confidence in their product, which I think is an odd thing to say. Neverness to Everness right now. Now, okay, granted, Neverness to Everness right now. No, I don't know. Like this could be a fair example. Like Neverness to Everness right now has cosmetics tied to pull milestones. And that's understandable there because Neverness to Everness does not have a 50-50 system, so they got to find other ways to compel people to spend money. And we've had the Porsche event, which is one way. We also have we also have like just coming out with more stuff that costs fawns, so people might be compelled to just straight up like buy fawns if they really want to. I don't know who would do that, but that's a possibility. I mean, you do get fawns if you buy like the battle pass and the monthly subscription, so there is an option there too. You do have the weapon banner system, but most people are probably not going to fiddle around with that. They're just going to like hoard their annulets to try and like get other stuff. But also NTE has some free skins with the bond system, so people might go there. Does NTE lack the confidence with the pull milestone? Not necessarily. It's just a change in business model. So what about other games where you need pull milestones to get cosmetics? Well, there was the Girls Frontline 2 skin gacha, and I think in the context of maybe GFL2 at the time, I do think there was probably a lack of confidence on Mika's side with the skin gacha when that first came out, because who was the first character to introduce the skin gacha? Klukai. Why Klukai? Because Klukai is the most popular character. So, and she has the largest fan base in the GFL2 community. So they were trying to like hard sell people on the skin gacha by using Klukai. So yeah, I can see Girls Frontline 2 having a lack of confidence with their cosmetic system with the skin gacha there. Now, granted, before I quit GFL2, they were very generous in other regards, like coming out with like free token, token you can use to claim any skin you want. Just a random like non-anniversary, non-special patch where you can just claim a 5-star character and a 5-star weapon, which included limiteds. And maybe like a few other things like free skins here and there. So I'd say like yeah, initially like the pull gacha for the skins for GFL2 initially was like a lack of confidence for GFL2 success. But I think after that hurdle, it went over the hurdle. I think the game's in a good spot right now. They could have gotcha skins. I don't really I can't focus on that. The Vivian skin from 2.2 and 2.4. Okay. Was the Vivian skin an act of desperation or a lack of confidence? I don't think so. I think they were just trying to compel people to spend their pulls to try and get pull characters before the Void Hunter patch, which as far as I'm aware, as far as we are aware, the Vivian skin didn't move the needle. Like people still pulled specifically for Yisheng Guang, and even the pull milestones for the Angels of Delusion that didn't move the needle either. Now, granted, in like version 2.6, I think 2.6 had like the most pulls that ZZZ's ever seen, not counting launch day. I think it was like 170 or 180 because everyone got like that free 30-day subscription when they logged in. So that definitely helped the polls. So You had Yixing Guang sandwiched between two events where like there was a reason to like pull extra or pull a specific amount of characters, and it didn't really do anything to move the needle. People were not baited in; they still went for Yixing Guang. So I don't know if I would use confidence now. With Kuro games specifically, is it a lack of confidence? I don't think it's a lack of confidence. I just think that they're capitalizing on their audience. Now, whether or not you think it's a greedy thing is going to come down to whether or not you think cosmetics or selling cosmetics are a problem. I don't think selling cosmetics are a problem within reason, of course, and I'd say for the most part, like I haven't found anything unreasonable with Wuthering Waves' cosmetics. My only issue with Wuthering Waves' cosmetics is not the cosmetics themselves, but I don't like that the cosmetics they chose. I don't like the idea of spending $10 to get a bike skin that advertises a completely unrelated game, and the skin itself doesn't even cover the entire bike. It's not like a unique model change. It's just a paint job that advertises like one of the like what like wasn't there like Angry Birds there? Like no thank you. This is stupid. This is a waste of like the art team. The art team could have come up with something much cooler and lore accurate and in universe than an Angry Birds ad. So it's like get that shit out of here. I don't care about that. Ugh. So no. So I'm it just seems like the situation with that got analytical vibes in hot water is because he was trying to argue Kuro's predatory nature, but his smoking gun was cosmetics, and you're not going to convince like any particular group within each gacha game that cosmetics is where predatory is a problem. You're just not going to. And I guess he tried and it did not go well. You think those are free though? I'm pretty sure were all those like ad-based skins free? I could have swore at least maybe a couple of them were paid. I mean, free or not, I would rather they're just not they just not be in the game. I'm just gonna say that right now. I would just rather they're not in the game. The music tracks, sure, they can stay. If you want the music, fine. Okay, just have the music. But like the skins themselves, make something else, please. They can do better. They could do something interesting. The collab skins were free, then scratch my original point. All right. Still, would prefer something else, obviously.
Don't make as much money as they want. The second part of the video was about how Kuro reached biblical levels of greed in the Cyberpunk collab. In this collab, there's a coral shop, and not only did they decrease the amount of refund you get on a duped pool, they also increase the amount of corals you need in order to get the sequences in the shop. You need 480, even though it costs 360. Not to mention, they also removed your pity by having a new banner and removed any of the other pulls. Literally the most disgusting thing I've ever seen Kuro do, and then the video ended with me talking about how did we get here. Everything that I said was
I already touched base on that. I don't see the need to go over that again.
Completely correct. However, the video does have 3 problems, and these 3 problems are why I privated it, and it has nothing to do with the quality of the arguments at all. The first issue is that the video is too long. Because the video was too long, most of the people who watched it didn't complete it. If we look at the analytics for the video, it had an outstanding completion of 24%. I mean, that is horrific.
Okay, curious for a second. I want to look at my stats, okay? Because I think there is a truth to the matter that people will just watch chunks of a video and then click off, and then they're formulated opinion based off of that. Because I'm assuming that's where he's going. That's where he's going with this, is that he's saying they're going to formulate an opinion about that. Okay, let me see if I can find my biggest video. Where is this? Reach, click through rate, impression. Okay, where is? I'm trying to find the stats because I barely fucking engage. I think it's engage. Okay. Watch time, average. I see average view duration. So I'm looking at my video. The Gacha Space has changed, and my average view duration for that was 5 minutes. So let me just go. I'm just curious. Was there anything? So what was I talking about? Okay, so I started talking about anti-Hoyoverse, and I guess that's when some people started clicking off. And then I started listing off the creators at around near the 6-minute mark, and then just from there. Okay, so I guess quite a few. There might have been some people. What was the like to dislike ratio on this? 81%, 222. Okay, so I'm assuming quite a few people. Oops, I closed it. Quite a few people saw that I was talking about anti-Hoyoverse, and then they just clicked off the video, and they just thought that it was just going to be me being going on another ramble about that. Which I did see quite a few people, maybe a couple of response videos focusing on that specific there. What about, hold on, what about the angel? I want to look at that one. Pink-haired angel engagement, 3 minutes. What did I stop? What did I finish at on the 3 minutes? So okay, so they finished at around the time I started listing off the characters. Okay, I think people got formulated a good enough opinion here. So I'm going to assume like people, when they stop around the 3-minute mark here, they came to one of two conclusions: either there were so many pink-haired angels that this isn't a problem, or they decided to like respond and say something along the lines of, "Oh, it's not about the fact that they have pink hair and they have angel wings. This could have affected the animations." And which, by the way, if you're making an argument about the animations, I don't want to hear what you have to say, just genuinely. Most people don't go through vids, unfortunately, and that's not just his vid. Yeah, I know, but I was just curious. I just wanted to like explore that idea for a moment.
That is about as bad as you can possibly get. This means that less than a quarter of the people who watched the video, and I think about 11,000 people clicked on it, actually completed it.
This video is 27 minutes long, Analytical Vibes. I literally just showed off my click-through rate for videos that range between, and my videos usually range between 5 to 12 minutes, barring like the exception that goes maybe 14 or more. Probably should have made the video shorter.
That's terrible. This created a cycle of people who didn't watch the video were commenting in the comment section about an opinion that was incorrect because they didn't watch the video. And then as someone else was watching the video, maybe they then scroll down into the comments, reading comments by people who didn't finish the video, just creating a cesspool of bad comments. Now, I admit, I'm not deserving of someone's watch time. So it's not as though I'm saying that just because someone didn't finish the video that they're not allowed to comment on it. Rather, this fault lies with me. I just have poor pacing. This video was unscripted. I didn't speak fast enough. I was roundabout in my arguments. And as a result, even though everything I said was completely true, not enough people completed the video in order to get the full picture. As a result, that's my fault. That's the first issue with the video.
Okay. So I'm already seeing a problem, is that he's doubling down on the idea that he's correct. He is doubling down on the idea that he's correct about the predatory nature, which, I mean, if you want to make an argument about the predatory nature of go right ahead, I won't. But at the end of the day, we're talking about cosmetics here. And like I just said a moment ago, okay, you're not going to convince a sizable amount of like dedicated gacha players for one specific game that cosmetics are a problem. Okay. People could not do it when Overwatch came out and Overwatch was selling cosmetics with loot boxes. You're not going to do it here, okay? It's the exact same song and dance, okay? I remember back in the day of like the early 2010s when Total Biscuit was still around, and he was pushing the idea that like anything that's cosmetic is completely fine, and nobody like should be getting up in arms about it because it doesn't affect the gameplay at the end of the day, because Total Biscuit and the people he hung around were more focused on like the actual gameplay of the game rather than like cosmetics and stuff like that. But funnily enough, you had people like Jim Sterling who were actually arguing against that narrative, which I found interesting, and I kind of agreed with him, is that cosmetics are part of the experience of a game because people get invested in characters and also like self-expression, especially in multiplayer games. And it also like gives a personal drive for somebody to like keep playing. And in gacha games in particular, is that if a new cosmetic comes out for a character you like, it might reinvest your interest in that character. And for some people, you might even pull more copies of them. Like when the Miyabi skin came out, as someone who doesn't play Miyabi at all, when that Miyabi skin came out, I played Miyabi a lot more when I got that skin. Just saying. But right here, he's just digging his heels in and not even considering for the fact that people just didn't agree with that perspective. Is it predatory? You can make an argument about that. Doesn't matter. To most people, no. And that is the key. That is the key thing That is the key thing with a lot of like discourse online is it's not whether or not you are right or you think you're right. It's whether or not the public thinks that that line of logic is correct. Two completely different things.
The video in order to get the full picture. As a result, that's my fault. That's the first issue with the video. The second issue with the video is that the average view.
Also, there is a good chance, by the way, that if when he says that the problem with the video that is his fault is that he didn't like condense the video, that will also upset people because now in their mind he's going on this tangent about something completely unrelated, and everyone else is just thinking that's not why we got mad. Can you please go back to the topic at hand? It's like if anyone's seen that situation that happens like maybe a couple weeks ago where a girlfriend and a boyfriend, the girlfriend was was cheating on her boyfriend with her cousin. And she came out with a response video, and she basically tried to do her very best to address everything that wasn't the fact that she was fucking her cousin. And that pissed people off because people came in expecting the obvious thing to get addressed, and it didn't get addressed. So now obviously this obviously like Analytical Vibes is not fucking his cousin right now. I hope not. All right, in this context, but he is setting himself up to talking about something unrelated that does not address what people want to have a conversation about.
Duration. So this is the how much someone who didn't finish the video actually watched into it. They watched 6 minutes into the video. That means that according to the chapters of the video, I talk extensively about lower or minor levels of greed in the game. These are the chapters in the video. And
your intro was 1 minute and 30 seconds long. Holy. If anyone's been following me, like, for a while, like, especially, like, back before I left, I cut out, like, the intro, outro bullshit by, like, a lot. Now, I still have my intros, and I still have my outros, but I don't, like, dedicate as much time to them, because, well, one, I work a full-time job, so I kind of need to get the videos out there, so I'm not gonna fuck around with, like that stuff that slows me down to get a video out there, and I mean, it's came with its benefits because there's a lot of people out there who appreciate my content because it's a lot more condensed and I just get to the point. But again, he said that he did this video like off script. So I mean, will I blame him exactly for that? I mean, yeah, actually, if you go off script, then you either have to have some really good ad lib or being able to like talk on the fly, or you need to recognize that that might cause some problems, especially if you're not 100% sure of what you're going to talk about. So we have a 1 minute and 30-second intro. Then we get to the lower and minor levels of greed, then the biblical levels, and then how did we get here? And this is like a 27-minute video, so there's 10 minutes. Hold on, let me go back for a second. 27 minutes and 1 second. So 10 minutes of it, almost 10 minutes of it is dedicated to just that last section of how did we get here. So if this was me personally, if I was making this video, I could see myself maybe putting this video together and it being maybe 7 to 8 minutes long. What I would do is I would take this how did we get here section and I would probably put it at the start of the video, like after the first 20 to 30 seconds. And I would just kind of like quickly lay out the foundation, and I would probably try to make that at least like 2 or 3 minutes, depending on what I want to talk about. And then I would list like lower and minor levels of greed, but I would make that short. I would make that very short, okay? It does not, this does not need to be. This is like 8.5 minutes. You need 8.5 minutes to talk about lower and minor greed? No. Okay, so let me go back for a second. So I said for a moment, I would take the how did we get here section and I would put it at the front, okay? If you put the how at the start of a video, it contextualizes everything going forward. So you could like explain like Kuro Games' position where they were at the start and how they gained more confidence, and then that that would then retroactively contextualize everything you say afterward, so you can condense the following sections. So I would, explain like how things have changed from start to where we are now. And then I could like go in a little deeper and maybe spend like maybe 2 or 3 minutes talk about the lower or minor levels. Then I would focus on this biblical level section, which is 7 minutes long. I would then condense this to maybe another 2 to 3 minutes, because I feel like the buildup. I feel like the buildup could be is probably a little longer, and then like the climax, or like the apex point, would be just a bit shorter or on the same length. And I could probably condense this about to like 8 minutes. So like 20 seconds of intro, 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes of start, and then another 2 or 3 right here. So about maybe a 8 or 9 minute video. Obviously, I could probably condense it down more if I use a script, so I can read what I'm talking about and decide whether or not I have too much fluff in my video, and cut it down that way. Because usually like when I do recordings for my videos, there's about maybe like 2 or 3 minutes total that don't make it in the final cut when I upload a video, because that's me like that's me cutting things out. To either just like condense things, or also just like anytime like I flub up something. Do we know how many different points in each? I'm not sure. That like I need to do research on a topic like this. I'm just spitballing here. I'm just giving a rough idea.
Extensively about lower or minor levels of greed in the game. These are the chapters in the video. And then around minute 10 is when I start talking about biblical levels of greed, which is the Cyberpunk collab. And then I end the video about how did we get here. Most people...
You needed 7 minutes to talk about the Cyberpunk collab? Brother. You needed 7 minutes? Hold on a second. Where's my unfiltered video? One moment. I took 3 minutes and 22 seconds to talk about that. Now, I just did a bullet point and then just like briefly talked about like how the community handled it. You took 7 minutes for that in a 27-minute video. Ugh.
People didn't even get to the part of the video about the Cyberpunk collab because it was too long. I'm just not entertaining enough. I understand. I'm not showing my face, and because I'm not showing my face, I can't hold an audience attention like other content creators can who kind of show their face. Who knows, maybe I should do a face reveal in order to solve that problem. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But that's a huge problem that I have on this channel, that's for sure. As a result, the way I should have gone about this is I should have made 3 videos. This first video would have...
I don't know where he was going with that talking point. Hold on, let me pull that back. Can I like make sense of that for a second?
Biblical levels of greed, which is the Cyberpunk collab. And then I end the video about how did we get here. Most people didn't even get to the part of the video about the Cyberpunk collab because it was too long. I'm just not entertaining enough. I understand.
What does entertainment value and Riz have to do with making a condensed video? These are two things that are not mutual, that do not result. There's no cause and effect here, okay? If you lack Riz, doesn't mean you can't condense your video.
I'm not showing my face, and because I'm not showing my face, I can't hold an audience attention like other...
Oh, okay, no, never mind. I'm looking at this from the wrong angle. So, my apologies. Let me go back for a second, okay? So he's saying that if he had his face cam on when doing the video, then people would be more willing to stick around and watch the video. Or if he was just more entertaining, people would stick around and watch the video. I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree. You do not have to be entertained. You do not necessarily have to be entertaining to get people to keep watching your video. You just have to present an interesting enough topic to get people to stick around with the video. There are so many channels on YouTube that will take hours to break stuff down. Fucking bro, does anybody watch Joseph Anderson? Does anybody here watch Joseph Anderson? That motherfucker will yap for hours. And he does so in like a very like not monotone, but like in a very understated way. Like he's just a guy who yaps, and yet people will sit and watch this shit because this is some good stuff. There's a lot to break down, and people like listening to the breakdowns. And he's got some pretty he can articulate himself pretty well, and he's got some opinions that resonate with people. What about that Legion guy that does the update stuff? Legion's Gaming? I don't know what you're talking about with that. Like, do you want me to pull up Legion's Gaming? I'm not sure what you're talking about that. Okay, hold on. I gotta use the bathroom. I've been drinking so much water today. Sorry, I gotta use the bathroom again. Why do I get the feeling Freckles is so loud? I didn't close my bedroom door all the way, so I have a feeling it might have got picked up a few times. He's called Legion Gotcha, and his are not entertaining, just gives info. Let me pull him up. I've never heard of this person before. The Legion. The guy with a Legion helmet on. Doesn't put that much stuff out. This just kind of looks like your typical just kind of like info dump channel, which I mean, yeah. So here's the thing about. So I think there is a Gotcha Legion. It's not. That's not him. Hold on. Let me check Gotcha Legion. Nope. Still same result. So here's the. So I think we need to make a distinction right now. Okay. So channels like this get people to watch them because it is an info dump. So this might sound weird, but there is a difference. There is a difference between informational videos and videos that have information. I hope I'm getting that across. Like a channel that's about like deconstructing like topics and subject matters is informational. This one is just delivering information to you. It's no different than like say a guide channel. People watch that kind of stuff to the end of it because they want to soak in that information. But like they're not being presented like any concepts or ideas in like an informational matter. This is just an info dump of a channel. So this is not the kind of line of work that Analytical Vibes is. Analytical Vibes is opinion pieces that can be informational, which is different from an info dump.
Content creators can, who kind of show their face. Who knows, maybe I should do a face reveal in order to solve that problem. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But that's a huge problem that I have on this channel, that's for sure. As a result, the way I should have gone about this is I should have made 3 videos.
This does not need 3 videos. I'm going to tell you that right now.
This first video would have been talking about the increasing level of accessories that are in the game. Accessories tell a story about what's in the author's mind. When gacha developers start selling a whole bunch of accessories, it's an admission that their character revenue isn't as much as they want. It's basically an admission of inferiority to other gacha developers. It's like Kuro developers are losing pride. Whatever. The big issue is that I didn't.
So wait, so okay, so in his hypothetical 3 video situation, video 1 would have just been talking about accessories, and somehow that would create a domino effect into, he would try to like lead it into a domino effect of leading into worse like greedy things. I don't think that would people would I don't think things would have changed if that was what you made. It's just that you would have gotten the negativity at part 1 of 3 rather than just get the negativity in a video that has 3 parts in it. He's like going in the wrong direction with this. And again, you know, we this is a 10-minute video, and for like the last, like, I'd say 2 minutes, almost 2 minutes, we've been going in the wrong direction for 2 minutes now.
To quickly explain the first argument, because I really explain the point of all of the issues with the accessories by minute 17. How did we get here? That's when I actually explain what the issue is with the accessories. But because most people didn't get there, they're just thinking I'm complaining about bike skins for no reason. The issue with
so put it at the front of the video.
endless bike skins and accessories is that it tells you what Kuro is thinking. They believe they are not making enough money through character sales, despite the amount of effort they are putting into the animations.
I disagree. I think this is just a side hustle. I'm gonna say that right now. It's just a side hustle. It's like being able to buy like dorm accessories for your Elmo in Girls Frontline 2. That's just a side hustle. It's like being able to buy. What's another example? Is there another example of a gacha game that just lets you buy like pointless shit? Because that's what it is. It's pointless shit. But like, yeah, I would just call it a side hustle. It's like buying a premium battle pass in Genshin Impact for $20 and getting like a piece of furniture for your Serena teapot. Okay, that's just a side hustle. It's like, does Star Rail have anything like that? I don't know if Star Rail has anything like that. And also, if they sell more skins, it's not a lack of in my opinion, it's not a lack of confidence in selling their characters. It is a shift in their monetization. I think at some point, every gacha game should be pushing hard for skins, because I think cosmetics help to reinvest people's interest in the game. Like I said before. What was one of the best things that I praised Girls Frontline 2 for? The skins. I loved the skins. They were great. It made me reinvest my interest in the characters. What gacha games right now do I play that's also has like is also doing their best to like push out skins? Avernus to Avernus. People like the skins in Avernus and Avernus. They think it's a good addition. Cool. Even Stella Sora is pushing out like a decent amount of skins. And some of the skins I really like. Like there is a standard banner 5-star character by the name of Chisha, who's like a half dragon lady, and she is like a middling like performance character. Like she's nothing crazy, and she's coming out with a skin next patch in a few days, which is an Alice in Wonderland theme skin. Now, I have absolutely no reason to get this skin because Chisha is not even like the main character I use in my team in Stella Sora. But I want to get this skin for her because I think this skin looks great, and it even it compels me to go out of my way to make a build so that Chisha is the main DPS on my team, so I can see this skin more often. This is the conversation of reinvestment. Even if it goes against my best interest from a meta standpoint to build Chisha, I want to because I like the skin and I want to try and make her work. And I'm willing to go out of my way to spend money to get that skin, and then going out of my way to reinvest my interest in the game to do something that is inferior for my account. You could make the same argument for like the Chang Li swimsuit skin that came out in like version 2. Chang Li as a character has there's a lot more effort that goes into like playing Chang Li, or at least I think there was until until the this Wolf Girl came out. I don't know if Changli became easier to play when this Wolf Girl came out. Hold on, what's the name? Wolf Girl. I just like get the name Lupa. Thank you. I don't know if Lupa made Changli easier to play or if people just got a better grips with Changli. Hello, Peepo. Yo, Peepo. Wait, hold on a second. We were just looking at your comment. Hold on, 519. This is you, bro? You're famous, buddy. You got 20 likes at Call of the Yapper like, and you're even on a analytical vibes video. So, congrats. All right. Bought like maybe $200 worth of skins that I like in Marvel Rivals now. Cosmetics aren't my problem, but on whether how much worthwhile cosmetics are being sold, yeah.
This mindset leads to greedy practices like spending events, endless accessories, and
Hold on, we need to pull this back.
Accessories. But because most people think accessories is that it tells you what Kuro is thinking. They believe they are not making enough money through character sales despite the amount of effort they are putting into the animations. This mindset leads to greedy practices like spending events, endless accessories, and even more predatory practices to make up the difference.
Okay, so I think to an extent that Kuro animates their characters, not necessarily so I think it's like a 50-50 thing. It's that you obviously want to animate your have really well animated characters to get people to spend money. But another thing is that you want to have characters well animated because it sets a standard for the quality of your characters. If you start pumping out characters that not many people care for, but they have shit animations, that might put a chilling effect in people's minds that, oh, they're starting to phone in character animations. I hope that, and if they keep doing this, then maybe I'm gonna lose confidence as a customer to continue to support the game because my money's not going where it needs to for the quality of the game. Even if somebody doesn't pull a character, that character should be up to the standards to maintain the presentation, the front facing appearance of like consistency and quality. Banyu in Zenless Zone Zero was a very underperforming character, but he has some of the best animations. Not only some of the best animations I've seen for like characters, but he's also got one of the most complex kits in the game. And they went out of the way to do that for Banyu, despite the fact that he was not a well successful character, because it shows that they care. Now, yes, obviously, there is of course money involved, but you also want to at least present the appearance that you care about your game because your audience is going to care about that.
It starts with skins, and then Kuro will start debuting 2 new characters on the same side of a patch, because that's exactly what Genshin did, which I mentioned in the video. And holy crap, the comments. I was getting...
Did Genshin start selling boat skins? Did Genshin start selling flimsy little cosmetics before the Sitlolly Mavuiko banner? I feel like we might be kind of missing a few dominoes here before we can get to this point. You know, we're missing a couple of the middle ones.
Skins, and then Kuro will and even more predatory practices to make up the difference. It starts with skins, and then Kuro will start debuting 2 new characters on the same side of a patch, because that's exactly what Genshin did, which I mentioned in the video. And holy crap, the comments. I was getting called a Hoyo shill and a Kuro bot at the same time. That's how you know I'm a normal person, when both communities hate me. So if I made a part 1 to the series, it would have included everything about the accessories.
The old, if both sides hate me, I'm doing something right. So that kind of works, but you also have to have a big enough audience who can then push back against that kind of hate, quote unquote. You know, it works for Asmongold because he's got a big enough audience. So you could make your own, you can infer your own idea on that kind of concept. But if you have quite a lot of people pushing back against it, then I don't know if you can really lean on that, you know? But you definitely made a mistake to say that somehow Byte Cosmetics were gonna escalate to same cycle banners, because it wasn't. I think if I recall correctly with the Sitlolly Mavuiko banner, is it wasn't just the fact that they debuted in the same phase. It's that the free polls that were coming out during that patch, because I think it was during Chinese, it might have been during a Chinese New Year event. Some of the polls were withheld until after both the Sitlali and the Mavwika banner were gonna end. So there was like multiple things at play, and it's Genshin. You could also assume Genshin just has low polls. This is completely different from Wuwa, because Wuwa's poll total is much higher than Genshin. And also, weapon banners are, better in Wuwa. So you can't you're kind of like missing some other factors. So because it's not just the Mafuiko Sit Lolly banner. And even if Wuwa put two characters on the same banner for one phase, we still have to take into account poll totals. Because if the poll total is high enough, then it doesn't matter. It might matter to people who don't have the time to grind those polls. If like the time to grind those polls in that single like banner phase is a bit higher, but we need the specifics. We need the details. We can't just go straight to like the fruit nuclear option of like freaking out and going crazy when we don't know like the things that orbit around it. Both Sitlali and Mavu compared well with each other. That is also a factor. That is also a factor. But so okay, to be fair, this is Wuthering Waves we're talking about, and Wuthering Waves does have a whether or not you believe it, Wuthering Waves has a reputation of designing its gacha system around having like two characters that will almost always work together, and that being like one of the few options you can use for like good results. So if like we were to do a double new character banner, like there's a good chance they both will kind of need each other. And I'm pretty sure that's the case with like the Rebecca and Lusa banners, but don't quote me on that. Is it too late to say what's going on in TLDR? We are watching Analytical Vibes video on a video that he recently privated, where he was talking about how, in his words, the introduction of a bunch of bike skins and like some flimsy cosmetics into Wuthering Waves was going to push the game in the direction of being as greedy as like Genshin or for instance, or just something else entirely that is equally problematic. But we've gone, and he's basically explaining what the situation regarding that video and his thought process as to why the video failed in the eyes of the public. And he's kind of going off on this tangent about like something completely different, talking about like how he structured the video and how and just because like the video was like because the video was 27 minutes long and people only watched the 6-minute mark, that the fault is his ability to condense the video and not his talking points, not like the content within those first like 6 minutes.
And why they're an issue, which I talk about in the video, except the first 10 minutes are me talking about all the accessories. Then I go to the Cyberpunk collab, and then at minute 17, that's when I start talking about why all of this is a problem. But most people didn't know that because they didn't watch the video, which was my fault, and I would consolidate it like I've done thusly. Part 2 would have been entirely about the Cyberpunk collab and the disgusting amount of greed that they showcased.
Analytical Vibes. This video, the original video came out like 3 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. Long after the Cyberpunk conversation has been like over. So at that point, if you were going to bring up the Cyberpunk collaboration like controversy again, people are already fed up with that conversation. Okay, if you wanted to make a conversation about the Cyberpunk collab, you needed to have done it in like the first 4 days. Okay, anything beyond that, and people are tuckered out from that conversation. The people who wanted to rail on Wuthering Waves have already had their opportunity, and you're just kind of ringing the same bell over again. And you being a primarily like Wuwa audience, they don't want you to do that. All right,
for reasons that have been outlined in every video already talking about it. And part 3 would be more about how did we get here. Do you know how I know that the video was correct? Because I blatantly,
Also, if you require if you split the video up into 3 parts, there's a good chance you're going to get people who don't have who are not going to go out of their way to watch the other videos to get context. So unless you find a way to condense that information in part 2 and part 3, then it's not going to matter, because then you're going to have people coming into like part 2 and part 3 with fragments of information. So if you have to do a multi-part video, you can, but you're going to need to put a bit more effort into it. And considering that you literally just said you just did the original 27-minute video off script, you would have need to have scripted those 3 videos, which, I mean, you might have done that, or you might have wouldn't. I don't know.
I can admit this now, even though I shouldn't, plagiarize this entire video. Literally.
Okay, hold on. I gotta pull this back.
Talking about it. And part 3 would be more about how did we get here. Do you know how I know that the video was correct? Because I blatantly, and I can admit this now, even though I shouldn't, plagiarize this entire video. Literally, this video is identical to a video that Gotcha Smack made 3.
I am being hyperbolic. We spoke about different things, but I was inspired by it. Okay, but Gotcha Smack has cultivated an audience of not pro woo but pro consumer. Like even if if Gotcha Smack leans towards woo, he still has like presented like the conversation of he's presented the point multiple times in his videos that the players should go out of their way to get as much they can out of Gotcha games and Gotcha developers, regardless of who they are. And I'm pretty sure, like, if some of you like watched Gotcha Smack like occasionally, you might have heard him to say this. You know, like I just said a moment ago, go out of their way to get as much as you can out of these Gotcha games, these Gotcha developers. That is in your best interest. So he's garnered an audience around that.
Weeks ago, called Brutally Honest Thoughts on the Cyberpunk Collab Drama, and he talked about a whole lot.
Also, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Okay, Analytical Vibes. I like your content, but if I were to choose which between the two of you, between Gotcha Smack and Analytical Vibes, which one can present their points in a more calm and collective tone? I think Gotcha Smack can present his points in a more calm and collective tone. He could present his present his concepts in a more calm and collective tone, while at the same time calling like the people that are talking against him. He could just start throwing out N-bombs at them, and even when he does that, he can still come out the other end more calm than you, because he does it in a way where he almost like makes light of like people calling him out, like he doesn't take them seriously. You you present yourself in a very passionate way, let's just say.
A bunch of other things too. A lot of people in the comments seem to think they know better than me. I was there when both games were written. I was there playing Genshin Impact day 1 when you still had to use resin in order to accept the rewards for events. No one is more knowledgeable about the state of both games in the beginning and have they grown to be more greedy than me. I am the most knowledgeable person on this. I remember the Akron video that he made talking about all of the old things that happened in Genshin. I was there when MTash made the Klee trilogy on how Klee was really bad, pretty decent, and good. When Tectone still covered Genshin. I was there in the beginning.
What does that have to do with, I'm failing to see what that has to do with the topic at hand.
For Tuanto, Dish, every single Genshin Impact creator, I was there. Every single Wuthering Waves creator, I was there. No one is more knowledgeable about this than me. I'm perfectly willing to admit when I'm wrong. There's a lot of issues in the video.
You're willing to admit that you're wrong, but you're admitting you're wrong on matters that people don't care about. That's the problem.
None of which has to do with anything that I said. The third issue with the video is that I made a strategic mistake. In the video, I criticized heavily not only Wuthering Waves, but I also criticized Genshin Impact. And this was a huge mistake, because you have to wonder, who is this video for? I'm obviously criticizing Wuthering Waves heavily, so any person who plays Wuthering Waves will obviously be oppositional to the video in the beginning. But then I also said a lot of strays to Genshin Impact audience. For example, how the Mavwika and Seat Lolly banner, an Archon and a new character, 2 brand new characters debuted on the first side of a patch in Genshin, which is the most disgusting level of greed I've ever seen in a gacha game, ever. Literally, it's literally breaking the rules and the relationship that's set between a gacha developer and their community. Because I said a whole bunch of strays to the Genshin community, they also disliked the video.
Do Genshin players watch your video though? I think like they might come into the video seeing that like it's a negative. It is a video that is heavily critical of WoWa, so they might watch it to like, oh, so they can get like a morale boost one up over the WoWa community. So I guess they go in, expect that dressing down of WoWa and the community. They get it, and then like later into the video, then they get fired back at.
So here I was getting pincered by two sides, the WoW community who I'm criticizing and the Genshin community who I'm criticizing, even though what I said about the Genshin community is completely true about what Kuro did about that disgusting level of greed. But
well, it's not a matter of fact of whether or not you were right or not, but you're just dragging something up that the Genshin community has had to be dealt with heavy criticism of for a while now. Like this was version 5. Like, yes, we can agree that it was a problem in Genshin, but whether or not you agree with this point or not, there are just people in the Genshin community who just want this matter to just be let go of. Like they don't want to be dragged through the mud for this any longer. They're sick of hearing it. They're sick of hearing it, especially from the Wuthering Waves side. So they just don't want to hear it. Or if you are going to present it, you need to present it very briefly and just move on. You need to present it very, very briefly, just for the sake of like context or as like a frame of reference, and you need to like keep it as disconnected from like any opinions or like doom posting as much as possible. Just say it and then move on. And did you just say it and move on? I have a feeling you didn't.
Should not have said it. Not because it's not true, but because sometimes you don't always say the truth. Sometimes you have to play politics. It would have been extremely helpful if I kept Genshin out of the video entirely, because those are the type of people who would like this kind of video.
Okay, I won't disagree. I won't disagree there. There is a matter of whether or not you want to play into one specific side of a gacha community when you make like a call out video that may or may not be more informational if you start like bringing up other talking points. I will say that right now is that there are some small nuances when you put a script together for a video, or when you talk about something about a video, where you can catch strays depending on what you bring up. And it's annoying, but that's something you have to deal with around here. Okay, can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen.
People who naturally have,
or do it, accept that it might happen, and deal with the consequences then. There are quite a few videos I've done where I wanted to talk about something, and I was wondering if the way I was presenting it, or like some of the talking points I was making, would open me up to a counter criticism or a gotcha moment from somebody in the comments. And this happens occasionally, but for the most part, it doesn't really happen because people are focused on like the main talking point of the video. But that is a risk I'm willing to take based on how I present my videos. And if it happens, oh well.
A negative disposition towards Wuthering Waves. It would have been helpful to get their likes, and even though the video wasn't even for them, but it didn't help me to make an enemy out of them in that video as well. There's basically 3 groups of people. One group of people are probably whales who feel like the game has becoming more and more expensive because Wuthering Waves used to be really cheap and now it's becoming more expensive.
I don't think whales would care at that point, depending on what kind of whale we're talking about.
And then there's a group of Wuthering Waves free-to-play players who didn't like what I had to say, and though they disliked the video. And then there were the Genshin players whose game was getting tangentially insulted, and they disliked the video. And then there's a group of Wuthering Waves free-to-play players who didn't like what I had to say.
I'm not a fan of like using this of always bringing up free-to-play players specifically. I don't think I really have like a strong lead off or like a build up to this thought process. I don't like having to constantly bring up free to play players. Okay, you don't have to be free to play to have a problem with like monetization systems. Okay, you could be a low spender, you could be a free to play player, you could be a whale, but like I just said earlier, whales probably don't care if we're talking about like the ones who have like comfortable financial situations.
And though they disliked the video. And then there were the Genshin players whose game was getting tangentially insulted, and they disliked the video. So I'm getting pincered by 2 sides with only one group of people actually liking the video. That was a strategic mistake. Nothing I said about Genshin was wrong, but from now on, if I'm going to criticize a gacha game, I'm not going to criticize other gacha games who are more likely to be amicable to the argument in that same video.
You shouldn't say that out loud. I'm gonna say this right now, analytical vibes. I'm not saying you don't have to do that, but I'm saying if you're gonna do that, don't say it out loud, okay? Because now people have that thought in your head where, oh, if analytical vibes is now going to critique something about a game, is he holding himself back? Is he holding himself back? Is he not bringing up any other talking points so he can deliberately like farm a specific like audience that's in opposition? Don't say this out loud. Straight up, there are several things that I could say right now that I do with my content that I'm not going to say out loud. All right, straight up. All right, they can guess. People can make guesses now that I've already said that, but I'm not going to outright say what I choose to do. All right. You do not tip your hand, okay? Because people now know what you're going to play. This was a mistake.
Instead, if I make a video criticizing Genshin, I'd reserve that video for Genshin and reserve a video for Wuthering Waves. Now, I may or may not unprivate the other video. I might not. It depends. The reason it's not unprivated right now, within 24 hours of this video, is because I don't want you to be watching this video and then in the middle of this video, which has to be significantly longer, I'm trying to make this video 10 minutes or less, you just go to the other video and start watching it. I don't want that. The final question to answer in this video is, will I continue to cover Wuthering Waves? Because it seems clear that I've heavily antagonized the WoW community. So,
well, you don't want to just turn tail and run, if you get pushback, well, yeah, ideally you want to just, brace and then, just keep making your content, wait for it to die down, and then just keep doing your thing. This is something I learned the hard way, is that when you get a lot of heavy criticism, you just got to keep going. The best thing you could do when you have a controversy as a creator is you need to dilute your content as early as possible. Not like churn shit out, obviously, but like just start putting out more content, okay? Obviously, like, you're not gonna like shake anything controversial that happens. You're not gonna shake that for ever. Like, it's gonna stick with you. But the more stuff that comes out that metaphorically distances you from that most recent controversy, then it becomes less of a problem. Let me get an example, okay? Let me get an example, okay? Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that Game Awards video on my channel. Okay, this is going to take some scrolling. All right. Where is it? Okay, so which one is it? Right here. All right, I got a lot of shit for this video. Do you know what I did? I kept making videos, and then guess what? Now that video's down here, and people have plenty of other stuff to know me for and watch me for. And now nobody cares about what happened there. There might be a few people where if I say something controversial regarding Wuwa, then you'll get like maybe like half a dozen people who will bring that up again. But you know what? That doesn't matter. That does not matter. That was before, and this is now. Right?
it's unclear if they're going to continue clicking on the videos. But it doesn't seem as though I can cover Genshin Impact either, because I've antagonized that community too. And it seems unlikely that YouTube would recommend my videos to those people too.
But you don't make Genshin Impact content, so does that matter? You don't make Genshin content. You have a playlist? You got Enfield? You got Ludefield? Do you have Genshin content? Also, the Genshin community is massive. If you upset one side of the Genshin community, just appeal to a different side of it, but with different content.
Because YouTube isn't like recommending your videos to new people. If I've learned anything from this experience, videos to those people too, antagonize that community too. And it seems unlikely that YouTube would recommend my videos to those people too, because YouTube isn't like recommending your videos to new people. If
I'm not gonna be like one of these people where I'm gonna like try and understand like the monolith that is YouTube's algorithm. Okay, I'm sure if you put out a good enough Genshin video, you could probably just like get a bunch of people who enjoy Genshin who don't even know like your previous controversies.
I've learned anything from this experience, it's that it's not possible to create a community of normal people. Rather, it's best to create a YouTube community of tribalists. It's the only way.
I mean, if you're a guide maker, you don't need to put out tribalistic content. I can tell you that for now. If you are a fan animator, you don't need to put out that content. Okay. If you are a If you are a shit posting meme compilation video, you don't need to do that stuff. If you make content that is exclusively positive about any gacha game you play, you don't necessarily have to be tribalistic. You're just positive, and then maybe people will use you as like a vehicle for tribalism, but not necessarily. If, of course, you diversify your content and you're positive about multiple gacha games, ideally that's the best case scenario, obviously. But like if you only play one gacha game, then yeah, tribalism will just kind of inevitably breed in there, but it's not your fault. Now, if you are specifically drama, then yes, of course, if you are a drama, if you are heavily deep in drama, you want to be tribalistic because you want to like appeal to that. Now, that's not to say that you can't play both sides and still come out the other side, but that's going to take a hell of a lot more work. So that begs the question: if Analytical Vibes, you've come to the conclusion that if you want to be in a good spot for your channel, you have to be tribalistic, and since the only logical explanation I can see for what kind of channel tribalism works in is drama, are you suggesting that you want to lean more into being drama content? That's just the way I see it. So, do you consider yourself a drama creator?
You have to create a community of like-minded people. And if your community is not like-minded like you, it will not
Holy fucking shit, my OBS just doesn't fucking update. Holy shit. Let me just see.
work out. Now, tribalist does not mean that the community is negative. It just means everyone thinks similarly, and this does not have to manifest in a negative way. Having a channel that criticizes both Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves is not a recipe for success, especially considering how antagonistic and oppositional.
I'm gonna pull that back for a second.
Everyone thinks similar work out. Now, tribalist does not mean that the community is negative. It just means everyone thinks similarly, and this does not have to manifest in a negative way.
I would say I've got a few Zenless tribalists with me, and we don't see eye to eye on quite a few things. I think my video on like the Shiyu defense rework, where I was leaning more towards in defense of it, save for like one or two things about it, like not being able to not letting scores bleed into each other for like A rank clears. A and S rank clears, non S plus clears. That was definitely that video in of itself, save for that one talking point that everyone was talking about. That was an unpopular video with the ZZZ community, or at least like with an outspoken group of it, despite the fact that tribalist. But you know what? I pushed on through. That's all that matters. And I probably have like a few. I have probably have like a couple other videos that are kind of on along that line. I think I had somebody come in and try to like confront me about my opinion on the spending event, because I didn't straight up shoot it down immediately when it happened, and maybe like a couple other things. But yeah, no.
Having a channel that criticizes both Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves is not a recipe for success, especially considering how antagonistic and oppositional those communities are to each other. You won't find this level of animosity in the NTE community or the Arknights Enfield community. Anyway, nothing I said was wrong. I was completely right, but it is a bad video because of pacing, and the arguments between part 1 and part 3 were not presented in chronological order, which led to great confusion. Definitely some mistakes, but everything I said was true.
Okay. Wrong lessons learned from this video? Potentially. Bro's going through the enviosity phase. By this man's logic, Mike is the most inferior gacha on the market. Okay, well, he liked this one, so I watched it, like your videos. Okay. If selling cosmetics is insane levels of greed, I guess the entire gaming industry really needs to die at this point. Completely optional, non-gameplay enhancing, permanently available cosmetics are an issue, really, in gacha games of all genres. Anyway, enjoy this last engagement. You are now on to not recommend. Ouch. Unfortunate. They should just have put all polychrome rewards on 2 clears, because I personally like getting to use. Like I'm not gonna go into like the new Shiyu again. I'm just gonna say like what I said before. Okay, they should have simply just like readjusted the scores and just let it so like the scores can bleed into each other outside of S plus. That's it. At least we know for the 15th time he said he's right on everything. Yeah. So okay, straight up, don't understand how having skins in a game is bad. Like, so there's also like there's also the another way that you can like amass a bunch of dislikes is if people don't understand your point of view. Like there will be people who will disagree with your point of view and you'll get dislikes for that. But what about people who just don't even understand excuse me, people who just straight up don't understand your angle or where you're coming from and it makes no sense to them? That is also like another matter entirely that can result in, well, people giving you a dislike because you're going at it from an angle that they don't understand why. Okay, first of all, glad you had this quick follow-up, as you may have clarified some of your points by summarizing, but honestly, what precedence is WUWA setting for selling more accessories, cosmetics? It's not like we criticize boutique stores for selling water and food as well. I'm not a fan. Doesn't mean it compels you to buy it. I get it. This might set precedent to introduce mechanic breaking weapons accessories with stats, but until it's not there, please don't exaggerate it. Mechanic breaking weapons accessories with stats. I mean, I really think I've seen like accessories with stats before. Second, you completely forgot your statement regarding Genshin being better over time for reducing the losses on weapon banners while criticizing. Well, that is another matter entirely. Is when you bring up the predatory nature of something like Genshin, but you also leave out changes made that were in favor of players. Now, granted, I think Genshin needs a lot more work than just fixing the weapon banner system. And some will make an argument that they're not going to give any credit to Genshin for fixing the weapon banner system because it was so bad at the beginning, and by the time like they finally got around to fixing it up, that it's only just barely meeting standards with like Honkai Star Rail and Zone Zero and Girls Frontline 2 and maybe like one other game that has like a similar banner system. So some people are going to argue that there's no reason to like bring that matter up because it wasn't even like, worthwhile talking point to begin with. You're sad you didn't watch this? Well, I was wondering if you were going to stream tonight. I was getting bored for like the last hour or two at work, wondering if anybody was going to do anything tonight. Calling an accessory a skin and making a 10-minute rant about how you can't get a stupid looking crown anymore is one of the takes of all time. The actual skins are right there in the shop at a fair price whenever you want. I mean, we can make an argument about fair price cosmetics, and only a couple are released every major patch cycle. Also, that whole bit about Kuro having an inferiority complex was pure bait, and Oh, so we were even making inferiority complex comments. Okay. Okay. Didn't feel like streaming? Yeah, I could tell because you were on Arma. Okay. I need to use the bathroom, and I guess I'll try and find something else to watch. Hold back for a second. Unless somebody has any ideas in the comments. Eeg, what you could do, since you missed out on the opportunity to react to it on a live stream, is you could always just make a video about it. You just make a response video. I feel like I'd be interested in hearing takes on that matter. Alright. You never use the washroom as much as some streamers. Well, yeah, I drink a lot of water. The last time cosmetics had drama in gacha was Night Chronicle with costume gate drama. I thought the most recent cosmetic drama was the skin gacha from Girls Frontline 2. Let me see if I can't like quickly find. Let me see if in case anyone likes to want in case anyone just throw out like a channel or something. Who is stream. Or should I post the link? I mean, you want to like I don't have like I don't have a React channel. I don't have a React channel on my Discord. I mean, you could just type the name. You could just like type the name out or like the name of the channel. Skin gacha is not really drama. Yeah, it's pretty much. Like there's some there could be some issues with like skin gacha, but it could be like on a person by person basis. Here, hello, Rice Eater. You're behind by an hour and 10 minutes. That is unfortunate. Night Chronicle EOS because of that drama? Well, I've never heard of Night Chronicle before. Alcohol is where it's at, especially Volkill. Yeah, you probably need to lay off it right now. Wings. You couldn't finish that sentence. The most controversial update. Did you not want to give me like a channel name, Taito? I feel like just giving me a channel name would have worked better. Is it the OK Sinnoh video? I'm assuming you mean the OK Sinnoh video. That's the name of the video. I was hoping you would give me a channel. I was hoping you would give me a channel name. But I guess yeah, sure. Like I've never watched like an OK Sinnoh video before. Whack ass thumbnails. Yeah, that's Sinnoh for you. That is Sinnoh for you. It gets the views. It gets the fucking views. I'll tell you that. All right, all right, alrighty. What is the most controversial update in List Zone 0? Legion King's most recent video, Trust? Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, I guess we'll just watch. If no one can think of anything before I finish this 8-minute video, then sure, yeah, I guess we'll look at Legion King. For you, pretty boy Ig. Alright, hold on. I would help if I unmute the tab. Okay. I don't know how loud Sinnoh's gonna be, because I'm pretty sure he does a lot of meme edits, so I'm going to assume I have to be ready for anything like loud.
ZZZ.
Man, it doesn't matter if you fit team.
One of the most disturbing, disgusting communities on the internet. Anyone else low-key uncomfortable about ZZZ?
No! Shut your
There's a weird running joke in Zone 0 about how half the community are actually just lark maxing, pretending to play the game. They post about a new character, and within 2 seconds, the comments are flooded with people having a complete meltdown. And there are even people who are so unemployed, they start giving death threats over fictional characters. And I thought to myself like, no way, this guy must be trolling. Until I found her old account was banned. So I don't think she was trolling.
Bruh.
Lesbo fag.
That sounds like somebody that goes outside. Alright, let's see.
Games I play. Genshin, HSR,
Am I in Britain?
Honkai Impact, and Wuthering Waves. Bro doesn't even play Zenless, and for whatever reason, they're self-inserting themselves to a fight that they have no part of.
Yeah, this is absolutely the fault. This is absolutely the fault of just a bunch of random fucking Twitter users or just creators or voices that just have nothing to do with Zenless, just trying to speak on behalf of it. I've never seen this kind of scale of just like pretend bullshit before, and I've already covered this before twice. Where was it? Like, I've covered it before where it's like people who don't even play Zenless, or it's people who do, but they have like their own equal set of like very extremist thoughts and opinions, like Big Gay Dog, who's openly a furry. Like, okay, great. I'm glad we get to hear your opinion. Can you please like stop talking? So where was the first one? Okay. Was this video right here. These two broke the minds of Twitter, Zenless Zone Zero, and then over here is the season 1 Puritan cleansing. Now, this one's a bit more nuanced because this is like a ground zero war of like opinions of where the direction of ZZZ is going. But the sentiment is still the same, where it just it happens from people who don't even like keep up with ZZZ anymore, or they've created like this utopia in their mind of what season 3 was, despite the fact of haha TV mode, and like also all the bullshit with like people complaining about like the goonerish designs all the way back then too.
Sometimes I tend to tweet too much about hating something and that annoys people. What the fuck are you talking about? Just put the screen down. God, these people need to get a life instead of being glued to a screen looking for shit to get triggered online. And they're doing this on purpose. They enjoy getting mad at 2D anime girls for whatever reason. I know Zenless has a lot of lollies. I even made a video about this, but it baffles me how many haters it attracts because this shit got 6 million views, breaking the previous all-time record held by Suna, who is another lolly. Like, these people just can't get enough of this shit. They get rage baited once, then comes back to get rage baited again, then they proceed to act like a dumbass, and question why these posts get so much traction. Go get fucked, Hoyoverse, you bunch of PDF scumbags. Stop pushing these tweets. Amen. There's a disgusting amount of PDF in your reply. Don't stop speaking the truth. It's dangerous how popular these characters are getting online. Oh my goodness. Let's give a round of applause to these modern day heroes for exposing the truth and refusing to be silenced. Yeah, see, that makes no sense, because you then go back and find out they continue to play the game made by the same PDF company. What are we doing here? What was the point of that statement from before? These people will call Zenless a PDF game, then turn around and play the same game. There are so many performative statements over these characters. It is insane. Like, here's another one. It must be so nice to be a PDF Zenless
Alright, well, we've already got... I have a feeling this person might be a furry.
fan. You never have to worry about your favorite to be an A rank. This guy is putting his foot down. Enough is enough. ZZZ is a problematic game filled with weirdos. Until 3 weeks later, he decided to pull for Sissia, and I guess the game is okay now. My guess is that Mr.
Well, you got pronouns in bio. Hold on. What else are we
Okay now. My guess.
Okay, nothing out of place with that banner. Timeline is all multi-fandom P symbol. What is this? Is this Austria flag or Australia? Australia flag. Okay, yeah. No, just feed him to the dangos and cockroaches and be done with it.
Yes, is that Mr. Bear Enthusiast was probably mad that his favorite furry was A rank. Yet
I didn't even notice the Bear Enthusiast
somehow,
shit.
the lolly with a giant A rank symbol is not. So now, imagine the comments on top of the LARPers. You have one side pissed off that their male furry was A rank, and the other side dunking on them to celebrate Monoto fans getting shafted. She looks like
If you don't like the fact that Monoto is an A rank and specific, like, why do you not like Monoto being an A? Well, simple. He's going to do less damage than an S rank. And, you know, there's also, like, the possibility that, like, his kit is going to have, like, less things to do than an S rank. But let's not pretend here that a character like Alice has a lot to do, okay? You mash basic, and then you hold basic. That's Alice, and she's an S rank character. So let's not pretend here like S rank just automatically gets more shit to do, okay? What's another character that basically, like, plays, like, very simple? I was gonna say Miyabi, but I know Miyabi's like the most popular character, so maybe it's probably best that I don't like try and speak on behalf of Miyabi, so I'm not gonna do that. Hold on, let me pull up a bunch of other S rank characters before I put my foot in my fucking mouth for a second. All right, S. Oh, Arya's a great example. Now, okay, I get like there's a way to min-max Arya so you can get more jumps out of her. Okay, but let's be honest here for a second, okay? When the enemy's stunned, just get Arya out, you jump on the enemy. All right? Astra Yao, one button support. Okay, let's leave support. It's out of this for a second. Okay, let's just leave support. Okay, let's talk about like main DPSs. Okay, Ambi, you build up stacks, you press special. Wow. Okay, cool. Haramasa, you build the quivers. Okay, and then you fire them off. Wow, okay, cool. Hugo, oh, you just eat the stun meter. Oh, okay, cool, yeah. Oh, wow. I'm not gonna speak on Promia. Chingy's literally just like spam basics and then just do a special. Yi Sheng Guang, I'm gonna say it. You Shungus fans, I'm gonna say it. Okay. Your two-spirited waifu is basically the equivalent of like an M1 killer in Dead by Daylight. Okay, I don't want to hear any like but she's no. Okay, right. So following that line of logic, okay, being an A rank or an S rank does not automatically mean you're gonna have a more complex and varied kit. Okay, so it's just numbers. Okay. So if Monato has a numbers problem because he's an A rank, then you know what you do is you pull for better stunners and you pull for more copies of your stunners and more copies of your supports. Yes, I know wheelchair meta is something that people don't like to have a conversation about because it's this roundabout idea that it's not the character that's strong, it's the supports that you slap onto them, and then that's how wheelchair comp exists. Okay, but let's be honest here. If you like take a step back, sorry, just kind of move my mic. If you take a step back here and think about it for a second, is that every single character in your team contributes to a cost system that we've been using for a while. Okay, if your Monato was S rank and you had like one Mindscape on him, and then like the other two were like M0 with no W engine, and that's like a 2-cost team. Okay, if Monato is an A rank, so that removes 2 of the costs because he's not an S rank and he doesn't have a Mindscape, and you instead those other characters. Sorry, I said M. Okay, no, sorry. Sake. It is a 4-cost team. I'm fucking retarded. Okay, it is a 4-cost team because in this hypothetical, Monaco is an S rank. He has a Sig. Okay, and in this conversation, you have 2 other S ranks that don't have the W engine, so that's a 4-cost team. Okay, so but let's say now we go over to like reality where Monato is an A rank, and so is his engine. But now those 2 same S rank characters now have their Sig, so now it's still a 4-cost team. So at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily matter because you're still getting like the same quote unquote cost out of it. It's just that cost is not coming from Monato. Now, is it an ego blow for your character to be wheelchaired? Yes, but at the same time, supports at the end of the day are going to be the more valuable characters to pull Mindscapes for anyway, because supports can go on more teams, and you need more teams in endgame content. So if somebody like a Dialin or a Yuzaha or an Austriao have more Mindscapes, that's going to be far more valuable to you. And in there will be more situations where you can you can skip more characters if you have a cracked support then you can skip characters if you have a cracked DPS, because that is only 1 DPS, and it is very easy to hard counter 1 DPS, because all you got to do is make their damage garbage by either creating like a special environment where their damage type doesn't work, or their element doesn't work. But supports don't rely on themselves on doing damage or anything of that matter. They just provide the buff to the DPS. So the DPS, by its very nature, is supposed to be interchangeable, while the supports are the core. So it doesn't matter so much in that regard. There was another a character other than Zhao and Suna with Etherveil, I would bench them instantly, but like you like Li Xingguang, you have to use them. Yeah, I can understand why some people might have came in for Yi Xingguang, but I might not have been a fan for those. Tired of the people being performative for lollies, your LGBTQ, and when start to get censored, they go or anti-movement in fandom against lollies fascists. Okay, so Tumai, you're one of those people who thinks that if that happens, they will just move on to something else and they will never be satisfied. Yeah, I can see that. Would Minato then be acceptable to his fans if he was a mechanically advanced like Banyu? I don't know. Honestly, I think people just it's just an ego blow. Genuinely. It's like it's an ego blow, and at the same time, it's also Lucia and Yadari who basically came out of left field. Because we knew about Minato as early as the reveal for version 2, and he also made his appearance during the version 2 story when the version came out. Lucia and Yadari came out of nowhere in an announcement during the 2.2, when people were anticipating Minato to be on his way. So, in their eyes, his S-rank status got lost in favor of 2 more bimbos. And if you want to take it a step further, if you're one of those people who believes in like the Yijuan hot pants situation, then you could even go even more conspiratorial with it and say that they literally went out of their way to make 2 new characters as fast as possible so that they had 2 women to sell and not a man.
Child, and that outfit should be less revealing. You know, the usual Twitter complaints that they always say. She, as a character, should have been an A rank. Minato should have been an S. I want ZZZ to be successful, but characters like these are gross. And then this guy down here replies with, silence Taurus, move on bud. Minato found in a ditch. Well,
I see what he did there. That was pretty funny.
about that, he's not wrong. And then there's this other guy that says Minato deserved better. Stop catering to PDF. Like, what the fuck, bro? I had a gut feeling that this guy had to be rage baiting, so I looked into his account, and here he was, shitting on Minato and hoping Norma would be S rank to piss off Minato fans. Buddy, please.
I think I might have been that guy. did want Norma to be an S rank just for the chaos of it.
War going on in the comments, and this guy's purposely spreading the flames on both sides.
The gatekeeping is for this people is the best we can do their frame. It unironically is. I should have made a dedicated video for this, but I just kind of put it at the tail end of like the season 1 Puritan cleansing. This is literally one of our last options left, okay? And we're taking it, we're making the best of it. People are going to get caught in the fucking crossfire because that's just kind of what happens when we need to employ this strategy. But at the end of the day, that is our best option. One of our few best options we're left with. And if there's a better one, well, most people aren't seeing it, and neither am I. If somebody has a better option, please let us know. Because this is very much a sledgehammer in place of a scalpel approach that we're doing right now.
Just for the love of the game. I don't know if that is very retarded or very smart. It could be both. Some people eventually got so upset they started running to Reddit so they can have their safe space to vent set. They started running to
just venting here because figured this would be the safest place. Is anyone else upset they made Norma an S rank agent? Her design just screamed A rank. Literally, she has A's blasted everywhere. I'm getting tired of this. I'm getting tired of this idea that, oh, just because somebody has an A on their outfit that they have to be an A rank. This shit is so fucking stupid. Like, you gotta be on like fucking crack cocaine to think like the letter on someone's outfit actually gives a shit, okay? It's just a style. Who cares? Do you want every character who's an A rank to just like project that on their outfit by just slapping an S anywhere? I don't. If the developers want to put an A on their outfit, then let them put an A on their outfit. What is Norma's faction anyway? Trying to. Right. She's part of the now her faction is the external strategy department, but her workplace in game, where she like does the chip and stuff, is the Aurelia Academy. Okay, that is 2 A's right there. So in like the actual like world building, there is a logical reason for why she has A's on her body, and you know. It's not just on the zipper. It's also on the helmet. 2 A's, Aurelia Academy. So you know, like, am I really gonna like go out of my way to like fixate on this? Not really.
Reddit so they can have their safe space to vent. Come on, guys, are we for real?
Should have gone to ZZZ discussion. That's a wider, it's a wider net.
A safe space from what? A couple dudes on Twitter? Just walk away from the screen, like close your eyes. And these people are just down here making the most delusional statements. It's a little girl and half the dev team fiddles themselves to that. Up dude, holy gem alert, you sir have won the internet today. What the hell is wrong with these redditors? Why is this guy giving me his entire
Boy, shame, brother. Anyone quitting, don't let anyone shame you into. I don't want to finish reading after that first comments. I'm good.
giving me his entire sob story? Brother, this is Reddit, and you're getting triggered over a fictional character? What are you doing? Like,
I hate the misuse of the word pedophile. Don't worry, there's plenty of us here. Get in line.
at this point, I cannot keep up with everybody, and all of that just from this one character post. Dude, oh my god. Christ, look at the first comment. They censored her chest? It's never been more over. Cry emoji. You just know this is Jover. This is the worst. No booba on a lolly. And this guy's down here replying to a comment saying, Jesus, you're a creep with, thank you very much. Like, he is so happy. Nobody's gonna ruin his party. But something happened that terrified the community to its core.
What happened?
Watch.
I'm watching.
One that only you can give me. Sunbringer.
What?
Did you see that? Where is the urban on Sunbringer? Why does she have gross fan service? Can ZZZ players stop LARPing about HSR? Planet Cardia's cast nailed the urban style more than ZZZ.
Fucking what? Where? Dude. I'm gonna say this right now, okay? And this might start some shit, okay? ZZZ's biggest enemy might not be Wua. It might not even be ZZZ itself. I think it's Honkai Star Rail players. I swear to God, they've been trying to start shit with us for a while. I don't think enough of us are fighting on the home front against HSR. I'm serious.
And ZZZ without fan service and skimpy outfit. Nobody said this. Shut the fuck up. So I started browsing the retweets on this trailer, and it is just people complaining that the characters are too gooner, not enough males, and where are the furries? For whatever reason.
Yeah, because when the game came out, people were lambasting this game for being for furries when there was, what, 2 of them? We had Big Ben and Lycon, and that was enough for the game to get flagged as a furry game. Yes, 2 characters. Oh no.
There are so many furries, like this guy complaining how nothing is creative. May or may not be a Shiba Inu in real life.
Can fuck people with furry profile pics not look like it's a headshot very, very clearly trying to hide the fact that they're naked? Oh, great, he's from Florida, too. Okay, no, that's definitely a naked furry art.
Does this guy identify as a dog?
Guy probably got that on VGen for like $10 and waited maybe 4 days for it to come in.
Is this him? Is this what he think he looks like? 26 years old male, by the way. Like, God, why are there so many weird people here? I found this one guy complaining about how Sunbringers made to pander to incel, and you got all these fashion designers giving their takes on why their new design are all gooner slop. Oh my goodness. Christ. You cannot hold me at gunpoint to make me tweet something so pathetic. By the way, this is the same guy complaining about incel pandering, yet posts about a figure with Monoto with his sausage out, and he is pissing on the floor.
You know, I don't feel like hydrating anymore for the rest of the night. I think I'm good. I'm good.
Important message regarding Sunbringer. If you want Sunbringer to be changed back to her original design, this is our chance before it's too late. Comment on Twitter. Bring back Sunbringer.
Wow, that's so cool. I'm sure that's gonna work out like every other Genshin boycott. This guy posted the same thing in another subreddit, and this post, and this post, and this post too. god, this guy's just spamming this shit. How soy do you have to be to go on Gaming Circle Jerk, of all places, to complain about Gunnar design? This is the same guy complaining about how he's getting fatigued from protesting the Sunbringer redesign. Fatigue? Bro is typing this shit from his mom's basement and act like he's some activist on a crusade trying to save the world.
What a fucking idiot. Okay. All right. By the way, here. I got a great idea. Okay. If there are some of y'all obsessed about like the original Sunbringer design, okay. I got one solution for you. Very simple, okay. Go play Kingdom Hearts and get the fuck out of here. All right. You want black coats? There's your black coats. You got plenty of black coats, all right? And they're in the game. You will not be disappointed, all right? And if you've already played Kingdom Hearts and you are obsessed with the black coat, well, Kingdom Hearts 3 is the most recent game, and I don't want to hear your opinion on anything, okay? Get that out of the way. I want to listen to the people who have a reason to hate her design. I don't want to listen to any people about the design at all. I have my own fucking opinion about the design, and that's the end of it. Are them black coats with fur? Why does the fur part matter? People should learn how to draw or do fanfics for their fantasies and thing they want to do. I don't know. I'm good. Right? So. Alrighty. Well, that's another one down. I think I got enough time. I think I got enough time for one more. Got enough time for one more react. So if anybody's got something to suggest before I have to fucking watch the Degen King shit. Just trying to check Twitter to see if there's anything going on. But I mean, I guess to cap off on that video, like right now, like at where we currently are in ZZZ is like a post 3.0 launch with 3.1 on its way. And I think like the good that Zenless has done, the positive reception of version 3 has done a lot to like wade the criticisms following. And you don't really hear a lot of people, a lot of like those voices talk about it. Okay, like the people who didn't play Zenless, they've moved on to something else to complain about, and everyone else who actually plays the game is sticking around, and they're sticking around for reasons that go beyond like just a single character's design that they probably didn't see much of a problem with anyway. They're enjoying like the new area, they're enjoying the new story content, they're looking forward to more of it, they're looking forward to the new characters, they're playing the new endgame content. I'm still getting like recommended posts on Twitter that keep going back to this person who blackface Saritsa. I might need to unbookmark that tweet so I can kind of like flush my algorithm. Yojimo's latest video? I don't want to watch somebody bitch about the designs. I don't want to listen to somebody bitch. So like, you talk about this? I don't want to hear it. Like I don't care how constructive it is. I don't care how constructive it is, how constructive Yojimo thinks it is. I don't want to hear it, okay? This has been talked about to death, all right? Check analytical vibes. We just watched that video. NTZ, you missed it. Go back like maybe 2 hours. I already talked about. We already broke that one down. Oh shit. Vladimir's doing the exact same thing. I bet you Vladimir's doing the exact same thing. Oh wow, hey, look at that. Pretty sure I just like frame one dislikes this because all Vladimir does is just complain whenever it pops up. Yeah. Some people just need to fucking uninstall Zenless at this point. Like they're not doing themselves any favors. Count the okay, I guess we're gonna have to the Dijin King. Ugh. Dijin King. Where's my I'm just double checking something. What's that on the background? Oh, oh. Oh, wait, I still have NTE up. It's a Hosho Marin thing. Marin Beach. Can I like just type it in and it just shows up? Thought I'd just be able to type it in and just shows up, but then I remember, oh yeah, Hosho Marin kind of has a lot of art. Hold on. Let me find it in my folder. I think it's in my pics. Don't I just have like a Hosho Marin? I do. There it is. Yeah, that's my home screen. I've watched half of a Hosho Marin video, and I own like 2 merchandise of Hosho Marin. Let me just give that to you. There you go. Enjoy, Eeg. There you go. A Writer's Tale. This is another ZZZ thing, isn't it? I don't want to watch this either. I've already had this video talk to me about it's like apparently like Writer's Tale has been like banging the drum multiple times about how like he wishes that he laments the days of like when season 3 ZZZ was just about like being like a fucking proxy, just like in the shadows. I'm good. I don't want to, dude. I swear. Okay, fine. You know, fuck it. I would rather just watch the Jujin King at this point. Like, just put this shit on. Let's just listen to what the man being dragged down by their robots have to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most feared sight by a Kurobot and one of the most dreaded sight by a Kurobot. For the last 100 years, Wuthering Waves has always been behind Genshin Impact in these charts. And the thing about it is that Wuthering Waves have the ability to finally beat Genshin Impact in gacha revenue coming up, with Genshin Impact not really doing anything this patch. I
mean, that is true. They're just built. Well, hold on a second. Wait, what do you mean do nothing? Wait, what the fuck do you mean Genshin's doing nothing this patch? They have Sandro coming out on the 30th. So unless like there's a margin of error with gacha revenue where it takes like a couple days for like any numbers to show up, then sure, yeah, okay, I guess Wuthering Waves will come out ahead on the gacha revenue because people will be spending money on Sandro on when the patch goes live. And July 1st, okay, well, hold on, what month of June? Is June 30th the last day? Yes, I'm asking because I don't know my fucking calendar month. June 31st does not exist. Thank you, AI. Okay, so it literally is on the last day. And I think there's a 2-day margin of error with gacha revenue. So yeah, I guess Wubo could pass it, yeah, with the Cyberpunk collab. And then I guess when Sandro comes out, like there might be a little bit of a revenue split at the start, but it's gonna be very consolidated during the month of July.
Waves produce.
How many tabs and how many are prawn? I mean, I'm pretty sure, isn't this one right here with the blue P? Isn't this Pixiv? Pretty sure this one's Pixiv. At least 5 of them. You've got 1, 2, 3, and you got 4 Twitter tabs. And don't forget that Twitter's also a good spot for that good stuff. You've got Pure right here. And you've got a Discord tab with 244 notifications. Holy shit.
Using a Cyberpunk collab, one of the most.
Doesn't revenue do its math mid-month? You are correct, Wings of Shoe. Gotcha Revenue specifically states that that full calculations are not ready until the middle of the month. But guess what? Has that stopped creators from using it for content at the start of the month? Nope, it has not. And it's going to stay that way. You need to excommunicate Dijin King from this space. He plays none of these games, yet speaks on them all the time. So I want to make something clear about I want to make something clear right now, okay? I have never made it I've never made like a public statement saying that I like associate with myself with Dijin King, okay? Dijin King and I, and to a lesser extent other people around Dijin King, we only kind of like orbit, or we only orbit around each other because we all kind of fit that umbrella of like small subscriber count, gotcha CCs within the Hoyoverse sphere that have no problem with talking about drama to greater and lesser extents between multiple of us. Okay, but I do not recall ever like actually like going out of my way to saying I associate with him. Now before I went on my 2-month hiatus where I basically said fuck it and disappeared, I did at one point. I think when I made the video saying that I reached out and reached out and talked to EO and Loki Gotcha and Rezi, reached out to all 3 of them. I also did say that I then also went ahead and also like made up with people like Dijin King. That's where it ended. As far as I am concerned with Dijin King, my stance on Dijin King right now is if you're going to be somebody who speaks out against another group of people, you have to present yourself in a way that can garner the most support. That's why PR exists for a reason within companies, and even if you're not a company, you need to understand the power of PR. This is something that, funnily enough, anti-Hoyo and like very pro-Kuro like creators, they have that shit on lockdown. Like, you can say what you want about Arukika, you can say what you want about Shy Guy High, you can say what you want about Cosmos, all those people. When it comes to how they present themselves, they've got that shit nailed down, and it helps to make their points more digestible. Or in the case of somebody who like actively supports one of those people, it helps to make it look much better. Okay. Now, if you turn around on the other side and you look at who like you've got me and that's it. I don't care if I'm gonna sound like Enviosity or like main character syndrome for a second here, but I can't think of another person who presents their points against like the other side on a same level as me. Okay. Call of the Yapper will sit and react to a video with an hour and with like some very like less than ideal mic quality, and sometimes like he'll like have to he'll like say, oh guys, I'm gonna pull up my phone for a second and check something without like any like visuals to like support that and stuff like that, or like pop his game onto the console. Then you've obviously got Dijin King, and Eeg's here. Yes, Eeg is here too. And, you know, well, actually, hold on. Correction. Eeg's not necessarily a part of this. Eeg's like somewhere in the middle as like a moderate. So I'm gonna leave Eeg out, okay? But then you've got somebody like Foxsoul, where whenever Foxsoul puts videos out, there's AI thumbnails, which make people not want to watch the video. So the video gets low views, and then when you click into the video, it's AI music, which doesn't really make for a very stimulating experience. You've got AI ad reads, which he finds funny, and some of his audience members find funny. I think it's cringe. I don't like watching him. You've got 20 to 30 minutes of him just kind of meandering his points. And I don't know if he goes on script, but I'm going to assume he doesn't. But I hope I'm getting my point across. And then like you've got like people like Tuhu, and I wouldn't say Tuhu openly associates with us per se, but Tuhu definitely rides on that line. And Tuhu is very obsessive with Tectone and Saint Tontas. He's just speaking into his microphone with his cam on. He frequently makes comments about how where like he's all of his information is like secondhand knowledge, where he doesn't go out of his way to research this stuff. So he'll usually just say, if I recall correctly, or I've been told, and then it's X, Y, and Z. That's Tuhu for ya. And it's look, okay, we just got a lot of people who just don't know how to present themselves in a way to garner support. They've got like the opinions that some people resonate with, but they can't deliver those opinions in a way to garner the support of people who don't immediately already side with them. Okay? People are not, people aren't like going out of their way to like show like evidence when they're talking about something. People aren't composing their thoughts in like in a very like condensed manner where the information can be presented in a very concise way. Bunch of other stuff. Like to think you're pretty good at disproving and making points. You're getting there. I will say at the very least, Eek, you're willing to like be receptive to that stuff. Chat, keep up with chat. Tuhu's in his own bubble. Well, Tuhu is in his own bubble, but he shares quite a few opinions with he shares some opinions with quite a few of us, which may or may not have us like align at some points. So I'm just keeping, and you know for a fact, if Tuhu says something or does something that makes him look bad, there are going to go be people who are going to lump Tuhu in with us if they want to lump Tuhu in with us, they can. Go say that. Loki Gotcha has the same issue. Oh yes, Loki Gotcha is also a pretty bad offender in that regard. I forgot about that one.
Predatory Gotcha collab banners in Gotcha history, and spending event as well. So surely,
what's your read on analytical vibes? So what are some other, so analytical vibes, I would say, is pretty decent at like so he's pretty decent at presenting his points. I think analytical vibes can present his points. Granted, like he admitted himself, like when he does it off script, like there are some hiccups, but I'd say for the most part he can present his points, but he, it could use some work. Whether or not you agree with those points is another thing entirely. We already went over the video like 2 hours ago, and that was that. Funnily enough, I think someone who I actually respect. There's like one of the few people who I feel like shares the same amount of that same level of work ethic as I do, is Glaive Keo. But I can't say that out loud because Glaive Keo got accused of using AI. So I can't say like I respect Glaive Keo because I feel like I respect the work put into Glaive's content because of like the work ethic, because that AI shit. So that's unfortunate. So just a little my 2 cents on Glaive right there.
Surely this should be the moment that Wooden Waves top Zenith Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rail, and Genshin Impact respectfully. I will give Wooden Waves the win if they surpass Genshin Impact. I can understand and see it would be very funny to see NTE beat them, Art Nice Enfield beat them.
Never liked Glaive's content for whatever reason. I don't care too much about like the talking points within the video. I just like the way Glaive presents the content. That is it. I don't know if you've noticed, I literally just finished having an entire tangent where I'm critiquing other people for how they present their shit, okay? And if you watch my shit, you know how I like to present myself. That's it. Now, but again, because of like the AI thing, I can't like 100% stand by that statement without getting like some a small to moderate amount of blowback. You think TG King is a charlatan grifting on tribalism in the Hoyo space? Well, yeah, I mean, he's gotten to this point because of it. Just remembered Rune's latest video. I wasn't sure about telling you because of the drama from a while ago. Oh, the LGBTQ thing. Yeah, I mean that video popped off. I saw it, like, that got a lot of traction on Twitter, so I guess that's doing good for him. Glaive constantly make Genshin look bad and glaze Wubo by making Genshin look bad now, I guess. Well, I mean, we gotta admit that so both things can be right, okay? It is true that Genshin itself does does things that make itself look bad, but at the same time, Glaive can also find some other things that make it look bad, and at the same time, Glaive can also be presenting those in an intentionally bad faith negative light and cherry pick, yada yada yada. I think all those things can be true. It's just whether or not what you value amongst those three things. AI thing was pretty overblown. Well, I mean, it's constantly referenced to this day by people who don't like Glaive.
Zenless Zone Zero beat them, but I'm mostly focused on Genshin Impact versus Wuthering Waves. So, as you can see, for the last 100 years, you will hear from Kurobos that how this data is fake. And why is it fake? Is because at all times, Genshin Impact is at the top.
Love and Deep Space is on the top. I hope you can read, by the way. Love and Deep Space is actually the one at the top.
And Wuthering Waves is at the bottom.
Wuthering Waves is in spot 4. I'm technically, I'm doing that right now. Technically, yeah, I'm doing that right now. I'm pushing my glasses up right now.
And surely, if that happened, if that combination happened, this data is fake. And this is why they always say it's fake. Now, apart from that, there is a real revenue site. And that real revenue site is the Steam top selling in the US. This is their quote unquote real chart. What has happened recently? Well, Zenless Zone Zero decided to join the party. Thank God it's not Genshin Impact. Thank God it's not Honkai Star Rail. This argument will be over already, but this is why people are worried that Zenless Zone Zero is here. Because it only has been a few days that Zenless Zone Zero has been on this platform. And, well, where is Wuthering Waves? You always hear from people that Wuthering Waves is on top. They're not really on top right now. They're number 20.
Dejin, you have 20,000 tabs open. You mean to tell me 2 of those tabs could not be one with Wuwa and the other one with ZZZ just at the ready? You had to scroll and find it.
In terms of sales, right? Top seller. And if you scroll down a bit, Newcomer at number 80.
If you scroll down a bit, proceeds to scroll down 65 ranks.
Around 80-ish, right? We have Zenless Zone Zero, brand new to the, and this is not good. This is really not good. There is competition for Wuthering Waves, and it would be so poetic for the dead gacha game. By the way, the worst performing out of the 3 main Hoyo games will come here on Steam on their.
Just one moment. Okay. Let's see, charts. Oh. K, 15K. It's only a difference of 4K. And this is an instance-based non-open world hack and slash game that exists in an ecosystem where there are 2 other much bigger Hoyoverse games. I don't see what the problem with this is. Just fine. Just fine.
Truthful, 100% factual, honest, always accurate gacha revenue site, Steam, and show up Wuthering Waves. So it would be very, 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 very funny. And that day will happen when Zenless Zone Zero will surpass.
Gotchas are misunderstood on Steam too. Woowa at launch had same problem of some players just not getting you can't just pick whomever. I don't know what you mean by that. Gotchas are misunderstood on Steam too. Woowa on launch had same I don't know.
Wuthering Waves on most sell or top selling in this trial, and I will be there to see it. If Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail has come here, it would have been over day in a week. It would have been just done. It would have been just done. But apart from that, I feel like
they would just move the goalpost and say like X amount of Steam bots were paid to just run the game in the background.
This would be the time that Zenless Zone
Dude doesn't understand how top sellers work. I don't either, but I'm not the one over here using this as some sort of talking point.
Zero will likely eventually pass out Wuthering Waves on this, and then all of a sudden this always accurate, always 100% accurate information website will suddenly become fake. Now, I made a video talking about sort of like the gacha revenue prediction and stuff like that. Now, in my opinion, I'm talking about only Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves. If I talk about any other game, like I will spoil things when it comes down. But like between both of them, right? Genshin Impact is getting to the slow point towards their how should I put this? Snezhnaya. Snezhnaya is right around the corner. People are gonna start saving, right? So I expect Genshin Impact to start getting some low numbers. This area had only Lauren, so it shouldn't do as amazing, right? Because it's Lauren. And Wuthering Waves have the Cyberpunk collab and one of the most predatory gacha collab banners in history, and a spending event. So surely with all of that combined, Wuthering Waves should take the W here.
Not a spending event, it's a polling event. People might be spending to try and like achieve the polling event, but that's two different things.
So this is going to be this is it. If there's the last time that I said it was everywhere.
People are going to start saving. Sandrone is literally the next patch. Sandrone is next patch on June 30th, which is the last day of the month, the day 24 hours before the gacha revenue PvP will pick back up again. And if I recall correctly, what the gacha revenue charts is that there is going to be a gap of at least, I want to say like 4 to 6 days where revenue is not properly tracked. So any sales for revenue made from Sandrone is not going to be represented on gacha revenue, and it's going to be rollover into the July revenue. Oops.
This is it. If there's the last time that I said it was ever a chance that Wuthering Waves is going to win, it was that, and Wuthering Waves came very, 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 very close. This is it again. Will Wuthering Waves finally beat Genshin Impact in this revenue, and the revenue is no longer fake? Or will Wuthering Waves collab banner fall short, and then we'll hear the normal complaint that how this website data is fake and stuff like that? And I already debunked this. The reason why they say it's fake is because you have this estimated between here, and these estimated are because of I have already made a video explaining why this is.
Are you going to link that video, or are you just going to say it?
And I'm not going to explain why it is again.
Okay.
But apart from that, what are your thoughts? Do you think that Genshin Impact is going to be finally dethroned? Do you think that Wuthering Waves is going to finally beat Genshin Impact after 2 long years, going up to 3?
I think it's not going to matter. Imagine an alternate universe where the gacha tribalism wars happen based on revenue and not gameplay, art style, vibes. Legion's literally doing the same thing. This isn't like a hold. Like, is this a holding the mirror up in front of them? You could argue that, but you know what you could also do is you could just not play into it. You could just not play into it at all. Gen update is July 1. You do realize there's time zones, right? Like, it might be July 1st for you, but for me, it's going to be the 30th. It's going to be the 30th at 8 p.m. Freckles literally wanted me to schedule the 30th off so that as soon as the servers went live, that I could be there so he could pull for Sandron, because he's been waiting for Sandron for ages. But I'm working that. I'm probably going to be working that day, and if I get off early, it's probably because like I try and like I schedule something with like somebody else to get off early. But no, but it's time zones. Okay, there's gonna be people who the patch is gonna be live on July 1st. There's gonna be people where the patch is live on on June 30th. That's how time zone works. Going to C6er? Oh, you bet he's gonna C6er. He's gonna C6er, and then he's probably gonna get R5 the weapon. I can say that with confidence, without a doubt. Okay. Another one down. All right. Most player base and revenue is July though. Pretty sure. Yeah, because there's the margin of error. I just said this a moment ago. There is a margin of error with gacha revenue where it's not going to record. It's not going to record the most recent like few days. So all that revenue is going to show up on July. I literally just said that. You do have Yai. Freckles also owns a C6 R5 Yai Miko. It was like the first character he C6 to R5'd. The second one being Nillo, the ginger dancing girl. So this will be like I think his third C6 character. Or no, wait, I think he might have a C6 Yoimiya. I think he might have C6'd her on a rerun. Don't quote me on that. Okay. Anyways, it is currently midnight for me, and I am not looking to try and drag this out even further and screw up my sleep schedule even more, so I'm going to be calling it here. I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. Pick this up again another time. Don't know when, because that's just how I am. Alright, you all have a nice night.